In a sluggish economy, inflation, recession, it's the land of the free. Standing unemployment lines, blame the government for hard times, but we just get by however we can. We all gotta duck when the shit hits the fan. 10 kids in a Cadillac, stand in line for welfare checks. Let's all reach off the state. Gee, the money's really great, but we just get by however we can. We all gotta duck when the shit hits the fan. Soup lines, 3 loaves of bread, 5-pound box of cheese, bags of groceries. Social security has run out, but you and me, we do whatever we can. We gotta duck when the shit hits the fan. We just get by however we can. We all gotta duck when the shit hits the fan. Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother, Mother, can you keep them in the dark for light? Can you hide them from the waiting world? Mother, Father, I'm gonna take your daughter out tonight. I'm gonna show her my world. Father, not about to see your light. And if you wanna find hell with me, I can show you what it's like till you're bleeding. Not about to see your light. And if you wanna find hell with me, I can show you what it's like. Mother, tell your children not to hold my hand. Tell your children not to understand. Mother, Father, do you want to bang heads with me? Do you want to feel everything? Father, not about to see your light. And if you want to find hell with me, I can show you what it's like till you're bleeding. Not about to see your light. And if you want to find hell with me, I can show you what it's like.
What's up, everybody? I'm seeing all these comments flying by. Pole Vault, Queen B, LSP. What's up, brother? Clay, Conspiracy. What's up, everybody? We have Blue Unicorn himself. There he is.
Well, no, you have Blue Unicorn's alter ego.
Alter ego. Alter ego. That was, actually, that was
Blue
going to be.
Unicorn is in the chat though.
Right on. That was actually going to be one of my first questions. Is Blue Unicorn like what? Where'd that? How'd you? What's it about? Where'd it come from? How'd you come up with it? What does it mean?
Well, there is actually a playlist on my channel. It's called "What is a Blue Unicorn and Why Is It Important?" And if you go back to the first video, it tells the whole story. Okay, so
Oh, so I
well,
just got busted
I
for
don't
not
know.
watching.
Let me ask you this: is this kind of like a 420 friendly kind of place? Can I tell the
Oh yeah,
story, or should we direct? Okay, all
no,
right,
this is freedom of speech and
okay, great.
freedom period.
Yes, I'm an absolutist, but so this friend of mine um, was over at a friend's house playing music, and they had all put some cinnamon paper on their tongue, and it had this little blue unicorn on it. And then about an hour later, this friend of mine's mom called over there and said, "Hey, you forgetting something?" And he was like, "What?" "Well, it's your sister's birthday. Are you going to come home and sing happy birthday and stuff?" Okay, so now he's right in this moment where something is about to happen, right? So he rode this blue unicorn rainbow all the way to his house because driving under the influence of cinnamon paper is technically against the law. So he had to do this other thing. And so then the rest of the video tells the story about what ensues when a 16-year-old kid has to go home and you know indulge in some cinnamon paper with his mom. So anyway, it's a funnier story than I'm describing it right now. But and I'm not saying that this happened to me because I'm not gonna happened to this friend of mine.
Right, yeah, asking
So
for a
then,
friend type deal, right?
right, right. So I was like, "Oh, that's a cool story, dude. Can I, use that as my CB handle?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay, great." So it became my CB handle, and then it just kind of became a moniker I used on the internet. And back when I had a MySpace page, it was the name of the band, which was just me with a 4-track tape recorder.
Wow.
And then it was the damnedest thing, but like this YouTube thing happened, and this consciousness called Blue Unicorn appeared on my computer screen and just kind of took over. And so that's how that happened. So he's this hyperdimensional being that lives on the internet. I don't really control him. I'm just his alter ego that exists in the
It's
physical realm.
kind of like I forgot the name, but from the movie Fight Club.
Yeah, it's a Tyler Durden esque
Yeah, that's
character.
what it is. Tyler. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Blue
yeah,
Unicorn much better though. I
yeah.
definitely like Blue
So
Unicorn much
anyway, he
better.
became this being that just exists and he does all this funny stuff. But because he's not real and doesn't have any hands, well, I mean, he has hands, but they're poorly animated. And so he can't play instruments. And so when he writes this song or has this idea, he has to make me do it because he can't really do it, right? Because he's not real.
Right. I love that, man. That's awesome.
Right, right.
Dude, I
And
could
then
hang out with you
Red
every day,
Unicorn,
man.
yeah.
I love this shit. This is awesome.
Right, right. And then Red Unicorn is the way I describe it is that Blue Unicorn is the wild and untamable, and Red Unicorn is the ideal and unattainable. Right? So they're both unicorns. You can chase them all day long. You'll never catch them though, because they're not real.
Right. Okay.
So
Well,
I
my
don't know.
next question was going to be, well, then what's Red Unicorn? So that's
Yeah, no, she's Blue Unicorn's imaginary girlfriend, and then Blue Unicorn is actually her imaginary boyfriend.
And in the video I seen Red Unicorn, she's pretty hot.
She's not bad. I mean, I keep suggesting, that if we got a bikini on that, there might be some better marketing. And she's like, no, you are not the boss of me, right? And I
Right?
said, well,
Yeah,
you're right. I'm not the boss of you. So
that's awesome, man. I love it.
yeah. So, but that, there's all these little things that happen in my videos and things like in the Lord Buzzcut season video, like she's singing this song about this imaginary thing, right? And so that's he keeps vanishing in the video. Like he's there and then he vanishes. Well, it's kind of conveying this idea that this is just all in her imagination kind of thing, right? It's the never-ending chase of a unicorn. The unicorn is not like a dragon. Like a dragon, when it's gone, it's gone. You never catch it. But a unicorn will take like 2 or 3 steps in front of you and go, weren't you trying to catch me a minute ago? Like, oh yeah, I was. And so you'll take a few steps forward and it takes a few steps away. So it
Yeah,
taunts you. It taunts you. It's like always
it
kind of
makes you
there.
believe. It makes you
Yeah, but
believe
you'll
there's
never
hope.
catch that. Yeah, you'll never catch that. It's an unattainable thing. So there's all sorts of conceptual things that go on in my videos that most people don't get.
No,
Our
I love
society
it, and
is.
that's I love your explaining it because I love all your videos because I get like, but to me it's like I come up with like because my brain goes in its own rabbit holes and off into another land, and I just think what what I'm putting together, but I don't know, I got I'll kind of close maybe,
Yeah, well,
but
well, and that's it. It's interpretive. You could decide what it means to you. Like, in fact, I have
mhm.
a new song. We'll talk about it later, I'm sure. But I wrote it in a way that I know what it means. It's about something in particular, but it's so ambiguous and yet it's so cliche that realistically anybody could think that's about them in some way. Like we could all relate to it in some way, but it all happens up here,
Mhm.
the relationship between what it means and what I think it means, right? But yeah, in the videos, yeah, like we were talking earlier before the show, and I used to just make the songs for the video, right? I needed music for the video. Like I already had the idea for the story in my head. I just needed a song that went with it, and so oftentimes, like the video and the music are two separate things, right? You can like the song, but the video is about something else, and the music is just there telling the story, right?
Yeah,
So, I my idea for the channel was to make it an interactive experience. So much so nowadays, everything happens in 20-second increments. Like, oh, I'm watching this short. I don't like it. Swipe up. Oh, I don't like it. Swipe up. I don't like it. Swipe up. It's all this frenetic attention spans. And so, like, one of my first videos is quite literally a comic book that you can pause it and read it and look at the pictures and see what the story is and what's happening. Or you can just let it play and listen to the song and you'll miss the entire story. And like the baby sleeping song, it's one of the songs that nobody ever watches because it's like 20 minutes long. And I recorded that on a 4 track, so it doesn't sound particularly good. But the point was is that the video was the point, and the song was just there as the music score for the video, which is actually a comic book. And so there's all sorts of little Easter eggs in there and funny little things. Like if you pause it on a certain frame and look at the headlines on the newspaper when he's sitting there reading a newspaper, all the headlines are hilarious. I made it into like an onion kind of newspaper, but nobody
right.
notices that.
Onion, yeah.
Yeah, so
What?
what was one of them? Area woman missing uh, when found. I can't remember how it goes, but like updated to found. Remains found area. I can't remember how it goes, but it reads really hilarious. And there's 3 different ones. So if you pause it and read those, they're freaking hilarious.
And
but
that's the
nobody ever does that.
baby sleeping one?
Yeah, yeah. It was one of my
Right.
older videos. There's a whole playlist of baby sleeping, all the stuff, and it's all the songs and everything that are murder related, you know, uh, because I got into YouTube making videos. Realistically, it was Yergi and Drew from the Misery Machine, like because I would go watch all of their videos and I'd comment on all of them, and I can only assume that they were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And so they come over to my channel and they see that I'm doing Skinny Puppy songs and Lana Del Rey songs, and they're like, "Make more videos." And I said, "Okay, I will." So I did one for "Tonight You Belong to Me," which was like this old 1920s thing, and I put it in A minor and made it all creepy. And anyway, and of course it's a murder ballad kind of thing, right? All right, you'll just have to watch the video to see it. Uh, but so I did it for them because they do the whole true crime thing. So the whole baby sleeping epic and saga is all this big long ongoing story about baby Smith and what happened to him as he grew up, and but nobody pays attention to those. So, I mean, some people
See that
do.
I was just gonna say I just got caught red-handed for not researching your channel enough.
Yeah, it's
I'm
yeah,
busted.
and it encompasses a lot of things like um, a lot. There was like political stuff. There was a series I did called One Bad Apple, and it has to.
Yeah.
And I'm going over all of the different psychological traits that people who crave power like tend to have. Like somebody who wants a job that gets to tell you what to do has a
Mhm.
certain personality trait, and it's the whole idea that, well, what they need is more training, more training. You can't train a psychopath to not be a psychopath. They just are one, you know.
Yeah.
And so that goes through uh, what I call the costumes of power. Now, this could be a police uniform, or it could be a suit and tie of some politician or whatever, but they all have the same personality disorders. Where so that wasn't one of my more popular series though, because you know, people
It's
don't
so
tend to
true
like
though.
politics a lot.
It's so true though. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. But at that time when I was making that series, I was hanging out more in like the First Amendment auditor realms and things like that. And so I
mm,
kind of that drew a positive, reviews from that community. But most of the music community, it's all spoken word stuff. Like Blue Unicorn has this talking head thing, you know. So, and the music is very trippy and hallucinogenic, you know. So that's not everybody's thing. That's a very niche crowd that's gonna like stuff that sounds good when you're tripping balls. Like
right.
the average mom
Yeah.
doesn't want to sit down and listen to that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too, because I know a lot of your music or is I'm under the impression anyway from what I've seen and watched is you kind of make your own instruments, don't you? Or you
Yes,
just
yes, I
you
do.
make anything work. That's amazing to me.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, okay. So I was, a punk rock kid, back in the day, and I liked all these bands like Ministry and Skinny Puppy and Throbbing Gristle, and one of my all-time favorites is Einstürzen den Neubauten, which I can't say because I'm not German. But they would play all these garbage instruments. Like it started out as like a counterculture art movement where they would just go gather up garbage out of the alleys and drag it out to a street corner, and then they'd all play it like a crash worship kind of idea.
Mm,
And then when the cops would show up, they'd all just run away and just leave all that shit there. So then now the cops have to go deal with that. But then it turned into a band, which became one of my all-time favorites, and they were very, very influential. And so one of the things they had was an amplified spring. And so I thought, that's cool. And I could probably make a dulcimer type instrument out of like boingy springs and then tune it. So I just kind of went with their idea and then just built onto that. But also, it's the fact that I don't have a drum set was what really kind of started. Was like I needed a bass drum, but I don't have one. But I got this cardboard box, and I can just tap it, and it goes bong, 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 bong. So if I put a microphone up to that, it's a bass drum. And so because I used to have a drum set and then it disappeared, but that's a long story. So, but what I do have is a basket full of bottle caps and a cardboard box and some maracas, and there's a dumpster right down the street that I can hit with a mallet that I made out of an old softball and a toilet plunger handle. you know,
See, that's so
so
creative, man. That's so
yeah.
awesome.
Well, I'm standing on the backs of giants because I have techno. Like I know how to amplify these sorts of things electronically, and so I could plug stuff into a mixer. These guys back in those days, man, they had to figure that stuff out, and so I just kind of went with what they were doing, and then just used different knowledge to do the same thing. But that's how
Yeah,
we
it's
all
still
work,
cool
really.
though, because I mean, like even like the mallet you made, I would have never thought of that. I never
Yeah, it was
thought to
it,
grab a
it was an old
softball and
softball. It was an old
yeah,
softball. I took the leather off of it and used that for something else, and then I just wrapped a rope around the softball and then nailed it in there and drilled a hole, stuck the thing in there, and then yeah, that's what I used to go bang dumpsters or like big
but you still
heavy.
use the cover of it for some, so it's like still
Yeah.
100% being used.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's so
Well,
cool, man. That blows
yeah,
my
I've
mind.
I've spent my whole life being poor as you know what, and so I know how to be poor and I know how to use what's available. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Make it
like
work. Make it
like
work. That's my motto. And even with my work, it's like make it work. You got to make it happen.
yeah, and you got to figure out how to do it. It's probably I don't know. It's just that if you don't have money to go buy a tool, you have to be ingenious. You got
Yeah.
to do some kind of ingenuity that will get this thing done with the tools that you have on hand. Like the spring thing, I could go over there and grab it and show it for the camera if everyone wants to see it. I don't know. I've been too busy talking. I haven't noticed what the chat's been saying.
Yeah, I've been
But
listening. I haven't really been looking at chat either. Sorry, everyone in chat.
right,
Thank
but
you,
that
everyone,
whole
for being
thing
here.
was built out of just weird stuff that I've gathered walking around. Like there's a series that when I did the Gautier song, I was gonna do a series called how to rock or how to kick ass with household junk or something like that. And it says step one, Blue Unicorn needs a bell and does not have one. Right? So it goes step one, go for a walk. Step B, find a metal forming spike laying in the gutter that fell off a truck that drove by. Step three, bang it. Bong! And it's a bell. Right?
Right.
So it's just random stuff that I've found walking around or doing stuff. And I think the only thing on the thing that I physically bought with money was actually the spring. But like the whole rest of the device is all made out of just random little parts and pieces that I've, for whatever reason, collected. Well, that's the reason.
Yeah.
I just
One
didn't
man's
know it.
junk is another man's treasure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, especially if you just find it walking down the street or whatever.
Banging everything he finds. I read that one, Ed Hen. That's funny. Ed Hen says, Blue Unicorn banging everything he finds. That's only partly true. I've given up banging certain things. But that's a different show.
Yeah, Ed ends always cracking jokes.
Yeah.
What's good, Ed? Kurt Kasprick, my brother from Detroit. I think you and Kurt would be able to hang out for like hours at end.
I don't know. I often tell people that I'm hard to like. So we could hang out for 10 minutes and then I'd probably start talking about something that would make him mad and then I'd probably just dip out. Like, well, sorry, man. It was funny because I said that once in a Valerie Bat chat. I was like, yeah, just give me like 10 minutes and I'll start talking about Nazis or something.
And then she read that. She goes, "Yeah, no, it won't even take you 10 minutes, Blue." And she's not wrong. Probably 5 minutes before I start talking about things that you don't want to know.
See, for me though, I just think it's just because I don't agree or someone else doesn't agree with me doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to talk about it, right?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
But no, yeah,
I,
if
I
you
can.
don't, if the other person doesn't want to hear it, then yeah,
Well, it's okay. Here's the thing. I have this academic knowledge of useless information. I could tell you all kinds of stuff that you didn't know, probably wouldn't believe, but I know it. And if it happens to be something that you like, and then I'm saying, well, you see, you have to understand the origin of this certain thing actually has its roots in this other thing, which isn't good. And anyway, I dated this girl that told me that I could ruin anything you love. Like, you love this thing. Oh yeah, well, let me tell you all about the Rockefellers and how they were blah 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 blah. And the next thing you know, you're mad at me because I just
right.
said the thing you love was a conspiracy.
So
If
you're
that makes
the
any sense.
you're the parent that has to break the news to the kid that Santa Claus isn't real.
Oh, I told. In fact, I was in very much trouble for doing that very thing. My kid has known that Santa is not real since he was 4 years old. So whatever. But I just kind of figure these are matters of history and they're facts, and I'm not the one who made the facts. I'm just the one who's telling you what they are.
Yep.
But the point is
And
is that oftentimes people don't ask me and I just go off on a tangent. Like, I'll be the guy at the party who's sitting in the corner not talking to anybody for hours. And then finally somebody will get me talking and then I just won't stop. So
right.
it's this weird kind of like swinging pendulum going on.
Oh, I think we just ruined their day.
Whose day?
What? He isn't real? Yeah, sorry, Santa's not real. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, that's one of the things is nowadays the fact that all of these things that were called conspiracy theories for all these decades are now
Mm-hmm.
coming to fruition as being true. And
Yep.
so now the way I look at it is anybody who calls me a conspiracy theorist, I like to say, well, nowadays I think they call that spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm
That's
not a
good. I haven't heard
conspiracy
that one. I
theorist. I'm a
like that.
spoiler alertist. I'm just, sorry, I'm telling you what you're gonna find out later in the story.
I like that. I haven't heard that yet, but that's so true.
Yeah, I mean, time after time. I told you guys in 2001 that your HD TVs are spying on you, and you find out in 2016, and you're like shocked.
Right.
No, I told you guys that in 2001. You just didn't want to hear me because you're like, hey, take off your tinfoil hat, buddy. I
Yep.
read it in Wired Magazine. You're calling me a conspiracy theorist? I read it in Wired Magazine. They're spying on you. Well, I didn't read it, so therefore you're wrong. See, that's how that works.
Yep. That and they don't want to believe it. So if they don't want to believe it, then it's not
Bingo.
true.
Bingo. It's called selective observation bias. It's a logical fallacy.
Wait, what is that again? Selective?
Selective observation fallacy means if I
Okay.
don't look at your evidence, then I don't know that it exists. And therefore, the evidence that I'm using to support my argument is still right because I'm
Yep.
refusing to look at anywhere else. Yeah, see, that's
And,
another
and
thing, another reason that I'm hard because I studied logic for a few years, and so like I can spot fallacies when people say them to me, and then they don't like that. So, what are you gonna do?
man, that's just like everything. I'm just like soaking all this in, dude. You're so interesting, man. I I could hang out with you all day, and trust me, you wouldn't piss me off at all. Because
Well, that's the thing is that
even
I
if you
try
ruin
very hard
something,
not to. I try very hard not to piss people off. I want to convey the information, but I don't want them getting angry. It's like the whole, like for instance, here's a perfect example is there's all these chemicals that they are putting in us in our food, in our pharmaceuticals. It's all getting in the water, and what is happening is that certain fish have now started to present hermaphroditic tendencies of now they're producing eggs in their testes instead of spermatozoa and whatnot. Um, but when you start talking about that, everyone thinks of Alex Jones going, "They're turning the frogs gay!" Right? Oh, you're one of those Alex Jones guys that is turning the frogs gay.
You
So
are
it's
my enemy.
yeah, and back in the 50s, it was like, oh, they're putting fluoride in our water, and that's not good. Oh, I see. You saw Doctor Strangelove, huh? It's a communist plot. It's a communist plot. They're trying to damage our purity of essence. So what it is they create these ways of making you the clown and dismissing anything that you're saying. It's a
Yeah.
argumentum ad hominem, technically, is the term for it. Argument to the man. They're like, well, you're wrong because you're a jerk. And I'll say, well, I am a jerk, but that has nothing to do with whether I'm right or wrong, right? You're just calling me names so that the audience will think I'm a jerk.
Yep.
So they're debate tactics. Like, it's very difficult to lie to me because I can spot these things. See what I mean? Or the straw
That's
man. That's one of my favorite ones. If you ever hear somebody say, so essentially what you're saying is, then whatever they say after that is called a straw man argument because that's not what you said. It's what they're saying you said. And
yep.
see how dumb that is that he said that? Like, you didn't say that. I just rephrased what you said
Yeah,
in a way
twisted
that
the
makes you
words.
look dumb. And so
Yep.
it has to do with creating a straw man out of you and then setting it on fire. See how easy that was to destroy? Yeah. So anyway,
So essentially, what you're saying is you can tell if a man is made out of straw.
uh,
No,
no, I didn't say that at all. See, what I said was, see, that's how you respond to that. Like,
right, right.
I have a certain
There's
relative of
nothing.
mine that is a huge fan of the straw man argument, and he's not
Yeah,
very
that
good at it.
wow. That's man, dude. This is so good because I'm like this is stuff I'm so interested in too. This is just wow.
Oh well, yeah. I came on the show. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do, so I have a guitar because usually I go on shows and play music, but
Yeah, if you
I
do,
could
I
literally
love.
talk for hours. I could talk until you don't want to hear it anymore.
Well, we
So be
could do
careful.
both. I'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear you play some music too. That'd be
Oh
awesome.
sure, I've got several guitars around me, but there's just the one in particular I like. But not really. I mean, I could talk for hours. People always, I used to be a taxi driver in Oregon for 10 years. I had a taxi company there. And most of my customers were actually going to the university to learn English because they were, from other countries, come here to learn English and then they go to university because it doesn't do you any good to go to college if you can't understand anything, right? So, but I don't know how many times they used to tell me, oh, you should be a teacher. And so, what are you talking about? I am a teacher. And they're like, no, I mean, you should be a teacher. I said, well, let me ask you something. Are you learning things from me? They're like, yeah. Well, then I am a teacher. I just happen to also be your taxi driver, you know,
Right?
because
Yeah.
I would help them to learn different American expressions or different syntax things. Like, for instance, in Arabic, you don't say look at that fat cat, you'd say, look at that cat fat. Very much like in Spanish, you'd say el gordo gato or el
Mm.
gato gordo, right? You don't say the fat cat, you'd say the cat fat. So I would help them out with grammar, and I had a lot of Chinese customers as well. And it was funny because I could teach them how to make a V sound because in Chinese there's no V sound. So everybody kept calling me something that didn't start with the letter V, we'll just say. And uh, and so I was like, no, 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 make an F sound, and then hum, and then And one guy says, you taught me more in 10 seconds than my English teacher taught me in 2 years. I said, well, can he make a V sound? No. I said, well, there you go. He
Yeah.
can't he can't teach you something he
if
doesn't know.
if you can't
Uh,
know it, or if you don't know it, or can't do it, how can he teach it?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I have a I call it a personality flaw, but like I said before, I have all this knowledge and it doesn't do me any good if I can't teach that knowledge to other people. And so I'm constantly spouting facts and weird things that I know, and in effort to inform other people of certain things. I'll do it in the chats all the time. All the chat people know. I'll put fun fact colon and then some absurd thing that has to do with something the podcaster said like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, that's cool though, man. Kurt, I love Kurt, man. Kurt's my buddy, dude. Shit, I need to learn English. I only know Detroit slang and Southern twang.
Word, Holmes. I
Me
dig it.
too. Know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying, Kurt.
Could have said
Shit,
can't hang.
I grew up in Detroit. Damn,
I
I
always
ain't
get that.
bullshitting.
I always get that scene from Airplane stuck in my head with Barbara Billingsley. She's like, "Cut me some slack, Jack." Suck.
Yeah, when
Yeah. Come on now, honey. My mama didn't read no dumb. I could dug her rap. She says, "Cut me some slack, Jack." Chump don't want the help. Chump don't get the help. But then I realize how old I am because like nobody gets that reference. Like none of these young folks have seen Airplane. Come on,
right? Yeah, because she's like, I got this. I know jive talk.
right? Oh, stewardess, I speak jive.
Yeah, that's
But
good
yeah,
shit.
gotta say can't hang. But see, that was a thing that I would explain to some of these Arabic folk was like they'd say, "Oh, I have bad news. I have to transfer to a school in Tennessee," and I was like, "Oh, really?" Because we were in Oregon. I said, "Oh man, you're gonna have to like relearn how to speak English all over again." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, once you get over there, there's certain dialects that are different. Like for instance, if I said to you, y'all's fixing to get some victuals, like would you know what I meant by that?" He's like, "No." Well, it means
Yo,
are you looking to get some food to eat? I said, well, why would they not just say that? I said, well, they did. They just used different words. So you're gonna have
yeah,
to learn all of these new slangs. And
I had to do it when I moved here. I remember that my second day on the job, because I never been to Hawaii before, and I just left Detroit. I said I'm moving to Hawaii, and I got here. I went to work the next day, and the second day at work, the lady in the office that you call after every job, she's like, oh, you pal? I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, you pal? Pal with job? I'm like, I what? But pal means done, finished. You know. I
okay,
don't know. Like, what do you
see,
mean I'm
I'd be there for
pal?
like 2 days and be like, what does howley mean? Everybody keeps
Right?
calling me that.
Right.
Yeah, I've thought about maybe wanting to try Hawaii, and then I remember it's an island in the middle of the freaking Pacific Ocean, and I probably wouldn't be able to afford to leave it, so I just don't go there. I'll get stuck there.
Right. Well, that's it. I'm not. I mean, I'm not stuck here, but yeah, I came here
Yeah,
and
no,
then I
I
just.
would get stuck there because I'm a poor, poor person. I could afford a plane ticket there, and that's it. And then what do I do?
That's actually what I did. I got a one-way ticket. Came here with a duffel bag, literally. That's funny. That was 15
Dang.
years ago, though. But
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I'm not opposed to going there. I just would like to be able to leave. You hear these stories about getting stuck on a tropical island. So
that'd be
plus
interesting.
I'm kind of fur bearing. I come from Viking stock, but we sailed in the North Seas, not out in the Pacific where it's hot and I'd have to shave.
Don't do that. I wish I could grow a beard like that, man. But yeah, don't shave. Please
Well,
don't shave.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I was just like, it was like that 40-year-old. What's it? Second puberty. That's what I called it. Like as soon as I hit 40 years old, it just started just coming so fast. I was like, I'm just tired of shaving it.
So, what kind of guitar do you have? You said that that's one of many, but that's the one you like the best.
Oh, that would be this one here. So there's a story about this guitar. Um,
Oh, here, let
It
me.
is a nylon string Spanish guitar, and it has plastic tuning pegs. And when you look this up online, you can find one for $60. So it's not an expensive guitar. But the thing about it is that this is older than me. This was my mother's, and yet I've never seen her play it ever. Well, I never saw her play it. She's no longer with us, but so anyway, it's mine now. And when I was like a punk rock kid, I would put like regular metal guitar strings on it, and so the headstock is all busted up and cracked, and it's all held together with zip ties and glue. But it has the best tone out of all the other guitars that I have. So I don't know where she got that, but it was. I mean, I remember it since I was just a little baby. Now, on the other hand, I have this guitar here. It's a Fender, I don't know, some kind of practice model or something, complete with Misery Machine sticker. Shout out, Misery Machine. This guitar was pulled out of a dumpster by a friend of mine, and he says, "Do you need a guitar?" And I said, "I always need guitars." So, and it's kind of dinged up. It's got a big dent in it right here, and there's some cracks in it, scuff marks, whatever. But it came out of a dumpster, which means that it costs exactly $0. And it's an effective guitar. The problem I have with it is that this tuning peg will not stay in tune through a whole song. So that bothers me. Here's one that I really, really like. This was my guitar in When Gods Attack, my old band. Now, of course, it's a Stratocaster, as you can see. Fender Stratocaster, right? But if you'll notice here, it's hollow bodied. So it's an acoustic electric, so I can play it acoustically. Or I can plug it in. I generally just play it unplugged mostly. When you plug it in, like it doesn't react well to pedals. But other than that, it's really awesome. It's one of my favorite guitars, but I don't have an amplifier, so I just mostly just play it as it is. And it's nice and quiet, so it doesn't piss off the roommates,
Or you mean you haven't built an amplifier yet?
Right. Yeah, I was going to get a big, like, cone and some old rudimentary electronics. So anyway, those are my three primary guitars. I have this one over here, which was my, this was the first one I bought. It's an Alvarez. This one is named Sharika, which means the one who is sharing. And I could tell you what that means, but I won't. And it's pretty nice, but I played the absolute crap out of it, and all of these frets right down here have divots in them, so it buzzes and rattles, and so I haven't played it in a long time. And then I got my bass guitar, which is an Ibanez. And this was my bass guitar, and oops, sorry about that. This was my bass guitar in the band. As you can see, I play it with a pick. Back then, I played it with pick, and I scraped all this off of there. But now, I know how to do other stuff. But yeah, there you go. Those are my guitars.
That's awesome. Because that was actually one of my questions I normally ask. Do you play any other instruments besides guitar? But you play instruments that you invent, basically. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I got a piano right over there. I started out on piano when I was like 8 or 7 or 8, and I just didn't like it because it was like homework I got to do now, you know. And so I never
right.
really learned. I never learned how to read sheet music. I mean, I can decipher it. I can tell you the FACE and every good boy does fine, all that stuff. And I can decipher the counting. It's just I can't read it like I'm reading a book, you know. And it was funny because my piano teacher apparently told my parents at one time. They said he is never going to learn how to play music. He won't learn how to read the music. He's just doing what I'm doing. He's not learning anything. He's never going to be a musician, blah, blah, blah. Well, what do you say about that, Miss Misak?
Yeah. I hope she's still listening.
She's long dead. She was very, very old at the time, so.
But I never understood that, though. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Because I know what you're saying. It's like you can't. He's never gonna learn because he's not doing it the way we want him to. It's
Bingo.
like that's not gonna stop you from learning.
Yeah, well, there's a couple different types of musicians. You got the mathematical musician who absolutely understands the math and can read the math on the paper and do that onto the thing. But maybe they're not creative enough to write their own song, because they're just kind of operating on a digital mathematical level. They can do what it says on the paper.
Hmm.
Then you got your analog musician who is the guy who took an old hollowed out tree stump and stretched out some cat gut and then learned how to play music on it just by listening to it, right? So your brain's doing the math all by itself, but may not understand the math itself. So music is actually one of the seven liberal arts. It's part of the quadrivium, which is the who was it, Pythagorean school of thought. And so it goes, you know, so the first step is you learn math because that's numbers. And then the second one is that you learn music, which is numbers in time. And then you learn geometry, which is numbers in space. And then you learn astronomy, which is numbers in time and space. So you have to learn them in that order or you'll get confused, right? So music is just math in time. But I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to understanding math. And so, whatever. I just do what sounds good, and that works for me. Like, my brain knows the math. I don't particularly consciously understand it, though. But I can count, one, two, three, four, one and two and three and four and one and a two and a three and a four and a flam, 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 flam. I can do all that. But, as far as writing it all out on a piece of paper, no, I can't do that. So it's whatever. People, I think music is just part of. It's like a certain personality. Like who writes books? Authors write books, and they're people who have this personality that predisposes them to write books. But I have this personality that predisposes me to want to make music, and so I'm gonna do that one way or the other. Whether I make $1 million or whether I have to gather up junk to make my own instruments. Either way, I'm just gonna do it because that's my personality. You know.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Let's see.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just in
Like I said,
case, just in case anyone in chat isn't subscribed to Blue Unicorn, I just thank you, Indy. I'm sure someone else has, but I'm sorry I haven't been keeping up with chat. And aloha everyone that came in. Frank Terzo, what's up? Brad
yeah.
Example, what's up? But I pinned the link for his channel just in case you're not subscribed.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone in chat. So there's this thing that I said. I said this to Conspiracy Music before he went live. I says, "Hey man, here's the thing. If you get me talking, like I literally will not stop. So don't let me do that." And so
I'm loving it though, man. I'm
now
loving it.
everybody knows what I mean by that because I will start yammering and just.
I'm loving it though, man. That's why I'm just like, I don't mind at all. That's why I've been missing chat too. But yeah, everyone knows it's not personal.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry, chat.
very interested in everything you're saying. But yeah, if you want to play a song, you want to rock one out. I'm sure everyone's like by now they're probably like, okay, man, I gotta hear him. I gotta hear his
Okay,
music.
you guys want to hear a song? Sure, I could play the. I have a brand new one.
Oh
Um,
hell yeah!
I haven't made a video for it yet, and it doesn't have a name. So a lot of you probably. Well, now I talked about this. I did a sing thingy on Tuesday night, and I told everybody about this. So this song that I'll play it doesn't have a name, and my songs always have very interesting names, like Operation Enduring Bullshit: War is Peace. Well, what does that mean? Well, there's an Operation Enduring Bullshit: Freedom is Slavery, parenthetical, the dogs drilled for Pavlov. Right? Like that's the whole name of the song. Uh, don't tell me I said what you think I just said. Right? These are the names of my songs. So this one doesn't have a name, but it has a parenthetical, and it's I love you, I'll cut you, but I love you. Right? So that's the parenthetical. But there's going to be a contest. So this is the song. It's all like it means something. But I'm going to make a video and then everybody one for songs. Okay. I see a bunch of ones. Okay, so everybody has to like interpret the song and then go into the comments and comment what they think it's about, and then whoever's closest gets to name it.
Oh no shit, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's audience participation, Blue
Everyone,
Unicorn style.
everyone hear that? I hope everyone heard that.
Okay.
And thank you everyone for hitting that like too. Wow, that's awesome. 44 likes already. Here we go, Blue Unicorn.
Let me make sure I'm in tune, because, I'm totally unprepared and usually suck in that way. Alright, sounds good. Here we go. Alright. Can you guys hear this? Everything sound okay? Guitar's not too loud?
Nope, sounds good. Sounds perfect.
Alright. So here's the thing, I haven't ever written a blues song before. This one is going to be like the closest to a blues song that you'll get as of yet. Did you guys hear that? Sounded like it came from outside. Probably safer if we all just stayed in here. Here's a backwards mask you can wear. Dispels the tigers from your trail. Deep inside you'll be terrified. Now it's peacocks and brides, so step aside. But it's all pomp and plumage and just gilded decay. Beyond the pale to lift that veil, It's beyond pale to lift that veil. Here in all of your majesty, portrait for the whole world to see. Beyond the wall, you are so small. Never fear, we're all kings in here. Ask anyone and they'll all agree. Bite down on this and just try to relax. There's plenty of knives to go around. One for every back. One for every back. A spotlight the dark, so on your mark. Espouse your carefully crafted soliloquy. But just do your best and watch your step. And you'll do best to watch your step. Sock and busking on your feet. Sometimes it laughs, sometimes it cries. Sometimes it just dies. Never fear, we're all kings in here. Ask anyone and they'll all agree. They'll pat your shoulder, they'll gladly shake your hand, and twist a knife right in your back. I hope you'll understand. Hope you'll understand. Even though we're all kings in here, and even though we all agree, deep inside we're all petrified. There you go. I love you. I'll cut you. I love you. So that's the song. If you think you know what it means, as soon as I post it on the channel, y'all go comment, give me your derivation or decipherment, and then we'll go from there. Paranoia.
So
Pole
that
thinks it means paranoia. It's not.
nice lyrics, very deep, very nice. Pole vault said paranoia. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of clap hands. We got clap hands. We got a flower. Roque gave me a flower. You want? I want to hear Blue Unicorn song about banging everything he sees. Ah, well. Trying to think if I even have one of those. I don't think I do. I got a bunch of songs about my ex-girlfriend banging everything she saw.
But if you don't have one about banging everything you see, I'm pretty sure you will soon now, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It depends. Most of my songs are about, I don't know, things that have been weighing on me. Like, I describe some of them as magic songs because that's literally what they are. It's a song that I would write to myself to have some kind of effect appear. And then, I would never really play it for anyone else. It's just a song I'd play for me. But they work. Even my guitar with all those dents, you gave it when you banged the dumpster. It was found. Well, I didn't actually find the guitar in the dumpster. A friend of mine did that, but it was banged all right. It's been banged. There's dents in it. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. See, I'm always the guy with the witty comments, but like when I have a microphone, I don't have to type them.
Right? Yep. That's Ed Hen too. He always he's the jokester. Him and
Oh yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Kerr, hence the name Joe Kerr. And
Sure,
Ed
sure.
Hen, they like the joke.
Well, yeah, I read everything sarcastically, so to me, it's automatically a joke, and then I have to decide whether or not you were joking or whether I just found it funny.
Right. Well, it's just, well, a lot of people. That's the thing with texting or comments or whatever. It can be read in so many different ways, and so many
Right,
things are taken the wrong way when it's like, wait, you got what out of that?
right. Yeah, and I put that in one of my "What is a Blue Unicorn and Why is it important?" videos, where it says if you read a comment Blue Unicorn and you don't understand it, try reading it sarcastically or try reading it in a higher register, and then there's a that Monty Python bit. Try reading it in a higher register, right? And then, or third, try reading it in a British accent to see if it sounds more funny. You know,
There you go.
because like I'm not saying it to be mean, I'm saying it to be funny. So if you took it as if I'm being a jerk, well, try one of these three things and see if it sounds funnier, and then you might get it.
And then if none of those work, then
Then yeah, then I'm probably just being a dick. Yeah, because there's a chance that I might just be being a dick. It happens.
Kara Bree, aloha, Kara. How you been? The tone you put in a comment is everything.
With mind bullets.
I like that though. I think I'm gonna start doing that from now on. I'm literally just gonna read everything as a joke or sarcastically.
Okay, yeah, Ed Hen here. He made a Tenacious D reference. What that tells me is that he's because I make Tenacious D references a lot. Nobody ever gets them, so that tells me that he would get the Tenacious D reference. Like I said, you mean Sasquatch isn't real? He would know what I meant by that.
Chris Lane Sr., aloha.
Chris Lane. And hello, Frank Turzo and Joe Curran, Ed Han, and Pole Vault, and everybody. I didn't say hi to anyone in chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not on it right now.
Yeah, same here, me too. I've been so interested in everything you're saying. I A9 Mouse, the real Justine. I know I said hi to LSP earlier. Frank Turzo.
Okay, Dacat. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He says, or they say, sarcasm is punching in. What? No, I missed it. Lost it.
Oh, it's the
Sarcasm is
punching the
punching
face
in
with
the face
words.
with words, and that's not necessarily true. Now, sardonism is when you're sarcastic in a deliberately derisive way. So that's not really sarcasm. You're actually just being a dick, but it sounds funny, right? Sarcasm is when you're joking and yeah. So it's not really a punch in the face. It's more of like I don't even know what maybe a flick in the nose. but I'm also known to be very sardonic also, where I'm funny in a very derisive kind of a way. Sarcastic even to customers because I just don't want to speak to
I
them.
want to
Well, there you
speak to
go.
them.
There you go. Oh man, I had this. At one point, I had a gas station job. It was not my favorite, but me and my coworker, we had this like whole comedy routine that we would do, and people would come to the station just because we were so freaking funny all the time. They had to pay us more, man.
Well, especially if they're coming there just for that, you're still bringing in business, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sarcasm is making fun of a. I can't read it. It's ungood the
situation.
thing. It can be. It can be. Um, I'm
LSP.
that guy that corrects everyone's grammar too. Like when somebody says, "Oh, that's ironic," and you're like, "Okay, what's ironic is that you don't know what irony is." Like
Right.
irony would be like a policeman getting arrested or like a fire truck that's burning. You know, that's irony. You know, it's not.
No, I hear it
Most
all the
times
time.
people
People misusing the irony or ironic or like literally or
literally,
figuratively.
yeah.
Like,
Or decimate. Decimate is one of the ones. Oh man, we decimated those guys. It's like, really? You just killed 10% of them?
right.
Well, that's not
Right.
what it means anymore. Yeah, I know it doesn't mean that anymore because everyone keeps using it wrong. Decimate. It means kill every 10th man. Come on. Use it right. Yeah.
Where did that one go? I just seen it. Oh yeah, right here. This cracked me up. I'd rather be a prick.
Well, sometimes it's better that way because,
Sometimes it gets the point across a lot quicker too,
yeah,
depending
yeah.
on the situation or whatever.
Yeah,
But
like
what
when I
if it
have,
were? What if you're Alanis Morissette? Isn't it ironic?
yeah, no, in fact, almost everything she says in that song is not irony. None of it.
Right.
Nothing in that song is ironic except for the freaking name or whatever that song is called. But but yeah, when I was a taxi driver, I had this. You know, we talked about anti-marketing earlier, where my marketing styles and whatever.
Mm,
And so in my taxi company, I was known as either the greatest taxi driver in the world, the nicest guy you would ever meet, or I was the biggest asshole you ever met in your life, and I'm not going to call him, right? And that was purposeful. I would intentionally be a dick so that you won't call me again. I don't want to deal with you. Don't
yep.
call me. I don't want to give you a ride. You're an asshole, right? So, but to most of my regular customers, I was just like the most pleasant, nicest guy. Just in fact, they advertised me in other countries. It's funny, like I was world famous taxi driver.
It's the
It's
best way to pick and
yeah,
choose your customers.
bingo, yeah.
You
Because
know.
as a taxi, you have to be available to anyone who calls. Well, when you have like a whole slew of personal like customers, like your own customers that need you to go to school and go to this and that, and then now you got like some football game happening where there's a bunch of out of towny guys that want you to take them down to the stadium because it's like a half mile away and they don't want to walk. So they're gonna make you do it. I'm like, well, dude, you can just walk there. It's like 5 blocks. Well, but the thing is, I don't know if you live in a college town or any of you that have ever lived in a college town, but when there's a football game happening, they close off all the streets all around the stadium and everything, and traffic and you get stuck in there in the one lane of traffic that goes through there. You're gonna be stuck there for an hour and a half just to go 5 blocks.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a ride down there, but the meter's gonna run. And so then, it was always the same kind of crap where we'd be sitting there for 20 minutes and they're watching the meter just going up and up, and they're like, okay, you know what, we'll just get out here and walk. I'm like, well, thanks. Now I'm stuck in this traffic jam, can't get out of it. So it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're in here or not. It's just now I'm not getting paid. So I tried to tell you this before, but whatever. And so I had this tactic where where I'd be sitting here, no calls, reading a newspaper, get this call. Yeah, can we get a cab down here at the stadium? And I go, oh yeah, I'm backed up for like 3 hours, man. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to wait. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we'll call someone else. Okay. And I go back to reading my newspaper, and I'd get a call. Oh, you need to ride down to the library? Okay, I'll be there in 3 minutes. And then I just go, because I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
you know, Walk your
Now
ass to
this
the
is the,
stadium. Because
I was
downtown to the stadium was like 5 blocks,
yep.
right?
Now I was just talking to my buddy last night about because I'm a plumber like 30 plus years now, but and now it's just my company, but it's just me. I don't have like a company with
Right.
secretaries and all that shit. But my biggest thing is I was telling them last night, it drives me nuts how people don't listen. Like you were just saying, you tell them like, no, we're gonna be stuck and not moving, and then they finally decide, well, we'll just get out and walk. It's like, well, I'm still stuck, you know. But the same
Yeah.
thing is like they don't listen because I'll even text this to my customers like, okay, I'll be there between 1 and 3. So I'll be there after 3 or after 1, but before 3. And that's a text. So I know they're not just
Yeah.
like reading the first couple words. And then they're still like, okay, see you at 1. I'm like,
Yeah, they're like,
no.
oh, it's 1:03. Where are you?
Right. Yeah, literally. Or you get there at 1:30 and they're like, you're late. You said you'd be here at 1. I'm like, I never said I'd be here at 1.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts, man. It
It's
still
because what
happens.
they said in their mind was, so essentially what he's saying is he'll be here at 1. And he
Yep.
wasn't. Therefore, he's wrong. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
And
people's
it
minds.
blows my mind how often it happens. It's like, and at first I'm like blaming myself. I'm like, maybe I'm just not explaining myself right. Maybe I'm wording it wrong. And
No, no.
I've tried so many different ways, and it's like, nope, doesn't matter. Doesn't
Well,
make a
it's
difference.
well, and we all have the same problem where we're like, not everything's about you. Some things are about me. That's
Right.
everybody's attitude. Everything's about me.
Oh
And
yeah.
your world is not part of my world, so it's this abstraction. I can't comprehend it because it's not in my realm. Uh,
Yeah.
like it's kind of a quantum mechanics sort of thing where I operate on my timeline, and I've never seen a yellow Toyota Corolla in my life, and now I bought one, and so now I see yellow Toyota Corollas all over town. Well, it's not that they just appeared there, it's just that now I notice them because it's part of my realm, right? uh, so yeah,
So
what you
yep.
tell people, they hear what they want to hear. It's like people who answer the question that they weren't asked. They answer the question they wanted you to ask, but you didn't ask.
Yep. No kidding. That's so true, man.
Yeah, and so it always cracked me up, like you were saying, like you're the boss, right? So I'd go downtown to go pick someone up, and I knew all like 98% of my customers by name. But you go pulling up in front of the bar, and you get swarmed with all these drunks that are trying to fight over the cabs, and they're like, "I called you, man. I called you." Well, here's one of the things: is that my phone number was on the taxi, but it was like hidden in the logo, right? So you
Uh,
couldn't really see that it was there, but it was required by law that it had to be there. So it's there. It's just that you're not going to see it, right? And the idea was like, you don't have my phone number because I didn't give it to you, right? But people would come running up and I called you, and I'd say, oh yeah, what's my phone number? And they're like, I don't know. Is this Beaver Cab? Does it
right.
say Beaver Cab? No, but I called you. I know I did. I said, really? So you're a gal named Emily? Is that who you are? No. Well, then get away. So I got tired of it, and I came up with all these little tricks. I'd say, okay, you want me to pick you up at the bar? You walk a half a block down to that corner, and then I would go this way around the block and pick you up over here while the mob of drunks was over here fighting over cabs.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
my,
how it
my
should. Yeah.
my
That's
customers loved me, but the people who weren't really my customers, they didn't like me at all. They thought I was a jerk, and there's a reason for that, because I was a jerk, so they wouldn't call me.
I love that though. I love that. That's it's creative, man. It's I love that. Freaking love
Yeah,
it.
it's just I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I miss it because I made one of my greatest friends in the world. He lives in Kuwait right now, but I met him in that taxi cab, and he's one of my best friends in the world. And we still maintain contact. So I mean, it was driving that taxi was good and bad. It was a lot of work, but I met some of the greatest people I would have never met in my life.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I love about plumbing. It's I mean all kinds of different people, and I'm finally at the point where it's like, all right, I'll get this job done, but now it's like I can pick and choose. I
Yeah.
keep all the customers I really like, and then you know just don't go back to the ones I don't.
Brad example says some of his worst stories are from, well. I also have bad stories about taxi driving. He's not wrong, man. You meet some
Right.
of the worst people you'd never want to meet in your life in that taxi. But there was more good than bad because I was very selective, about, it was funny because the idea of not giving out the phone number when I first started the company is because I used to work for this one guy, and then he took his company and went to Salem, and so we just kind of filled in that vacuum, and I started up my company, and but there was this one guy in that town, and his name was Chester. I don't mind saying his name. Hopefully he's watching. But this guy was the biggest pain in the ass you could ever possibly imagine. And so we decided to do the Eric Cartman form of marketing. Like, I have an amusement park, but Kyle can't come, right? And it turned out that he was the first guy to get that number because this other guy that we knew, he had the number and he saw the guy at the grocery store and gave it to him. So he was the first call we got, was the one guy that we didn't want to have the number. And
Oh.
man, he sucked. He was just a
Hope you're
horrible person.
listening.
Yeah,
Hope you're listening.
Chester. Up yours, dude. Go get your own apples at Fred Meyer, dude. I'm not your DoorDash guy. Yeah, that's the guy. But now they have DoorDash for that, so I bet Chester is on cloud nine. He's like, woo, I don't have to make Blue Unicorn go get my apples. I'll make some other person do it. But anyway, but yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time. But that was the thing, is that it was my company, and all the guys that drove, they were all subcontractors. They were not my employees. It was funny. My whole contract said stuff like, "I am not your boss, not your leader, not your whatever. I can ask you to do stuff. You don't have to do shit I say." And it was, but anyway, so people would always, like whenever I'm telling off some frat boy who won't get away from my cab, and he's like, "This ain't gonna go good for you. I'm gonna call your boss." I said, "Oh yeah, okay." Like, well, I said, "How are you gonna get a hold of my boss?" And they're like, "I don't know. Where's the number?" I said, "Oh, here, I'll write down my boss's number for you." And I'd write it down and I'd hand it to him, and then he'd call the number, and I'd go, "Taxi, any questions?" Yo, B, I am the manager. It's like that kind of deal. Because I am the
That's
boss. Who
so.
are you going to call now?
I've had that happen. They're like, I'm gonna let your boss, and I'm like, all right, have fun. And then
Yeah.
like later that, like a couple hours later, they call on, hello. They're like, yeah, Steve was out here. I'm like, yeah, was he? And they don't even realize it was me.
Right. Yeah, see,
And
I
they're
do it
like,
right in
yeah.
their face. I'm like, well, I am the boss. Who are you going to call now?
Well,
Looks
that's what
like
I
you're
told them at
calling.
the end, though. At the end, I'm like, well, just to let you know, this is Steve that you're talking to. They're like, oh, what? What? I'm like, I'm the
Right.
only employee,
And you
so
just
it's
sat there and
just
shit talked
me.
about me on the phone for an hour, didn't you?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, they wait a couple hours to do it. Like, so that means they're thinking about it. Like, what are we gonna
Yeah.
say? And then the best part is the story they tell. It's like not even half of that. Even like you're just
Oh, yeah. Yeah, your brain,
exaggerating
people's brains
everything.
fill in the blanks, make the story they
Yep.
think happened. You know.
Mm.
Oh, well, he was coming right at me, and it looked like he had a gun in his hand, so I had to kill him. So, what? Dude was just riding a bike. Well, from my perspective, I thought my life was in danger. And what's sad is that in their mind, it's probably true. In their mind, everything that they just said happened probably happened, but only in
Because
their mind.
they made it true. They
Yeah, it's like
literally
this
like,
reality, an imagined reality.
yeah. But I was just looking, and or unless you want to play another song yourself, but I was just
I'll
looking this.
play some songs. What do we do? You were
Okay,
looking at
that's
what
cool.
now?
The Black Flag cover just from a couple of days ago.
Oh, right on.
But if
Yeah.
I'd rather you play. I'd rather hear you play, man. I'd love to
Oh,
hear
I
you
don't
play
know. Let's
more.
let's ask the word people. Do you guys want to hear me play a
Yeah.
song, or do you want to hear this Black Flag song?
One for Blue Unicorn to play a song, or two for Blue Unicorn's video of a Black Flag song.
And then we have the 5 second delay.
Oh yeah, that's the
I
hard
see
part for
it.
me because it's like
I see a
delay.
yay.
Oh, we got one, one, one,
Oh, there's a
one.
lot of ones. Okay, so they want to hear a song. Um, Okay.
Sick.
I should play one that I know. I was on conspiracy music the other night, and they're all like, "Play that Suicidal Tendencies," and I said, "Oh man, I haven't practiced that one in weeks." And then I just farted live on air. I knew I shouldn't have done it. So now I'll think of what's the song I should play. Um, ouch. I have a torn rotator in my shoulder, so I sometimes hurt myself. All right, let's see. What should I play? Everybody, I don't know. It's like most people only know like one or two songs that I have. Let's let's do okay, do you guys want to hear a cover song or an original song? Cover song or original song?
One for cover, two for original.
Joe Kurtic, number 2. Oh, no, it is. Okay. Sorry, I read that wrong. Okay, so I guess original is what people are wanting.
Two.
Trying to think of one that you guys may have not heard yet. I could do Baby Sleeping since I'm in drop D. Should I try that? Baby Sleeping?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Baby sleeping. Baby's teething. Its faith transfixed on a ring of plastic keys. Mama's weeping. Daddy's drinking. The virtue of patience had long been since brought to its knees. The ferryman biding his time till the fates intervene. Shallow breathing. Heavy breathing. Does the soil shudder in fear at the sight of a spade? Flash of lightning. crack the sky. Does the lion recoil in horror at the scream of its prey? Does the victim ever laugh in the face of the blade? Someone's crying. Someone's dying. Does the granite ask to be maimed so a name could be saved? Does the tombstone feel any pain for the bones in the grave? The condemned will forever sleep in the beds they have made. The condemned will forever sleep in the beds they have made. Baby sleeping.
Man, that was awesome.
There you go, baby sleeping. It's a murder ballad. Every good hero should have one.
A bunch of
Okay, we
people
got it
came
right
in.
on.
Drizzle,
Nice.
Stank,
Hey,
Steven
Driz.
Sheets, Dom, down to our Grossa.
Nice. Welcome, Dom. Driz. See, oh, Dennis has been here since the beginning, I think. Maybe not, but welcome, Dennis. Thanks, Driz.
And Drizzle, man, that sucks if you got eaten alive by mosquitoes because I hate mosquitoes. But Ed Hen, is it really your birthday today? Because if it is,
ICP
happy
version.
birthday, my brother.
Jump around ICP version. I forgot to put on my clown makeup. Sorry, guys. That would be fun. I should learn an ICP song, Blue Unicorn style. That'd be fun. Oh, here's one. I just want to plink on this for a second and show you guys what I learned the other day. So when I was, anyway, I learned this. So this might be an upcoming thing. So who knows it? Okay, it goes like this. It goes. All right, let me try it again. It goes. Anyway, I'm learning it, guys. If fucking Kiss was Delta Blues, wouldn't that be badass? Learn God of Thunder, all Delta Blues. I sent Conspiracy a video of me learning that the other night. It was fun. But But that's kind of what I do is I'll take some song that, you know, everybody knows or I kind of know or maybe I know, and then I'll just kind of figure out how to do it my own way. And then so I can turn God of Thunder by Kiss into like a Delta blues song. It's just, it's freaking funny.
No,
To
that's the
me, that's
best
funny.
part. Make it your
Mm-hmm.
own. You
Yeah.
know.
God of Thunder. Anyway, I've known that. I have that record. It was like, it was my brother's, but it's mine now. But, you know, it was ours when we were little kids. So, like, it's an original pressing of Destroyer by Kiss. So I've known that song since as I've been alive. So
Well,
anyway, but I
it's
was I was just plinking around in drop D, and I was like, oh, check this out! I could do this with these chords, and it sounds like God of Thunder. That'll be fun. So I decided to do it.
what's that one? Oh man, I could have swore it wasn't from that long ago. But the video was you playing what we were talking about earlier, that with the spring and the
Oh,
everything that
Taylor
you.
Swift. Yeah,
Oh, is that
I
the
think it
one it
was Taylor
was?
Swift, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it was. What's Let's see.
Yeah, that was Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. The video for that one is in the Baby Sleeping playlist because that's part of the murder saga, right? It's this whole, there's this thing where Blue Unicorn and Red Unicorn keep murdering each other in these videos, and it's not really understood why that is, but they keep killing each other in the videos. Like in the Lord video, she drowns him in the pool, and it was because in the Tonight You Belong to Me video, there's an Easter egg at the end that nobody ever reads because there's like 3 minutes of credits and nobody reads the credits, so it's this Easter egg that nobody will ever see. But she threatens him. She says that's it. I'm drowning you in the pool next time while I sing my song. And he's like, all right, dear. And so then she did. And so that's one of these jokes that it's like if you weren't paying attention to the last song, then this joke you're not going to get.
Right.
And
That's
so that's the humor
crazy.
you get in the unicornium, guys. Four-dimensional jokes.
Let's see. So, um, my computer only does this when I'm like doing something, but
Well, now's a good time for station identification. Thank you all for listening. This is the Steve Harloha channel, and here on the YouTube radio, and we're glad you could join us for the morning show. Station identification. No, here at the Steve Harloha channel, we do not have a producer. We do it all ourselves, and so that's why a little bit of dead air. But now we'll talk about our sponsors. It's brought to you by uh, the Canyon wallet, and it's made out of 2 pieces of cardboard and a rubber band. You can buy it at the Blue Unicorn shop.
so it's under the baby sleeping playlist, right?
Yeah,
And
baby
then
sleeping. Um, so there's the 3 videos that lead up to it. Let me see if I can.
you got the closer you get,
Yeah,
the
see, those are
farther
the early
become.
ones. Those were the trailers for the original Baby Sleeping. So you got to go way
Oh,
down
I'm
the
okay.
list, and it's gonna be Wildest Dreams, Blue Unicorn style, or something like that. It makes me mad because Baby Sleeping, because that playlist is way down at the bottom of the stinking. Okay, so it's the one that says episode ninth. That's it.
Oh, episode ninth.
Oh, you know what? No, that's the whole episode. You don't want to play that. I'm sorry. Go to Imitation is the Weakest Form of Flattery playlist. Sorry, I was mixed up there. Imitation is the weakest form of flattery.
Okay, here we go.
And then it should just be
Okay.
named. Yeah, I forgot that I did that. So it's episode 9, but there's like 5 minutes of comic book stuff that you have to read before it gets to the song. So I put it in imitation just all by itself.
Oh yeah, there's wildest dreams.
Yeah, there you go. And I swear, she wrote those lyrics sitting on the toilet or something, man. Because I could write those lyrics sitting on the toilet, is all I'm saying. so, so it wasn't a
I think
hard song to learn.
it's an awesome video though too. It's like
Yeah, it's gross. People don't like it because it's gruesome. But it's part of the baby sleeping thing. So it's all true crime related. Yeah. In
oh
fact, in the
shoot.
episode, it's really funny because, like, there's a scene where okay, so in the episodes that led up to it, there's this dialogue. You have to read it because it's all comic book stuff. And so he's telling her about this dream that he keeps having every night. And so, like, for instance, when you get to the last episode, Red Unicorn picks up his phone and looks at it, and she goes, "Hey, you know how you say you fall asleep watching your like fall asleep playlist?" He's like, "Yeah," and then she shows it to him, and there's this at the very end of the list. There's like a documentary about Edmund Kemper, and like not everybody knows who Edmund Kemper was, but in the video, there's a scene where he's got her. Well, I guess people haven't seen it, uh, so I won't blow it if we're gonna play the video. But the one scene, it has to do with something that Edmund Kemper did. And so at the very end, Red Unicorn's all appalled. He's telling her about this dream that he had. She stands up. Now she's walking away. She goes, "You realize that makes me your mom in this little dream you're having?" And then so Blue Unicorn's like, uh. So anyway, but there's all kinds of like weird little like offhanded Easter egg type jokes involved in my stuff that the average person doesn't get. But the one person that does get it, they're gonna think it's funny, and so the joke is
Right.
for them. And so it was funny because Amber L actually got the joke, and she was like, "Oh, I'm revealing too much about myself," and I said, Amber L's down on her true crime. She knows what's up. That was funny.
Well,
But yeah,
let's see what the chat thinks. It's what is it? It's only 3 minutes, so it's 3 minute video. 3
3 minutes.
minutes and
Taylor Swift. This is the one. Okay, so Anon Mouse officially named this instrument that you're about to see. It is officially called the Springamelodophone. Okay, so
spring them a load phone.
Anon Mouse named it that. That's what it is now. I saw Anon Mouse write that, and I said it's official. That's the name of this thing. So this
Awesome.
song was played entirely on this instrument. There's no guitars in this at all. It's only strings and some old broken dulcimer strings that I got stretched over a homemade pickup or a homemade,
It's
yeah.
pretty cool too.
And
All
uh,
right, here
and
we,
and the mallets are these like rubber. They were like eyeballs on a little dumb monster squirt gun, and they just popped right off. And I stuck them onto pencils, and I used them as mallets. So
that's cool. That's what I was
there
just
you go.
looking at. I was about to ask. Like, I see it now. Yeah, pencils. Okay,
Yeah, so it's just
and
pencils with they're like soft latex eyeballs on them, and they work great for mallets.
that is pretty sweet. So, all right, here we go. Check it out.
There you go, spring them a
See what
load.
everyone in chat thinks.
He said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city, away from the crowds. I thought heaven can't help me now, nothing lasts forever. But this is gonna take me down. He's so tall and handsome as hell. He's so bad, but he does it so well. I can see the end as it begins. My one condition is Say you'll remember me, standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just in your wildest dreams. In your wildest dreams. He said, no one has to know what we do. His hands are in my hair, his clothes are in my room. And his voice is a familiar sound. Nothing lasts forever. But this is getting good now. He's so tall, and handsome as hell. He's so bad, but he does it so well. And when we've had our very last kiss, my last request is, say you'll remember me, standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just in your wildest dreams. In your wildest dreams. Kiss me in hindsight, take up with you all night, burning, it down. And then when you leave me, I bet these memories follow you around. Say you'll remember me, standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, baby. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just pretend. Smash it.
Bring me a car, then.
Oh, 2-in-1. I'll mute.
Right on. Well, it went automatic to. Actually, I
Right on.
want to play another one, but
So there
that's
you
the
go.
one I
I
already
forgot
played in the
about the.
beginning.
Yeah, I forgot there was also galvanized fence posts in that song.
I
So I
was
guess it wasn't completely springs, but
I was just about to ask because as a plumber, I noticed I was gonna say, was that galvanized pipe? That
yeah,
thing looked
it's
like three
galvanized.
quarter inch.
I I ripped the fence out of the backyard and we just had all this stuff laying around, so I kept some galvanized pipe because they make a good sound. Like if you hang those, you can make bells out of those. Like you know how like orchestras have bong 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 bong. You can make them out of those
Yep.
pipes if you just hang them from strings. So I got a bunch of see that kind of stuff that I just have laying around for years. You know, the ex-wife would say, "What are you gonna do with 8 foot piece of rope?" I said, "I don't know. I'll tell you when I'm using it." And so then now we're gonna tie something to the top of the van, and I go, "Gosh, you know what I need is an 8 foot piece of rope. Just so happens I have one." And she'd be like, "Shut up."
No, because literally, yeah, because that's how it works. Literally, figuratively, that's how it works. Though when you have stuff laying around, and it's like we've had this for years, you're never gonna use. It, just get rid of it. As soon as you get rid of it, a week later, you're like, I need that
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Now I need it, and I threw it away because somebody was griping about it.
Yeah,
But whatever, I make music with stuff that I have laying around.
yeah. I know it's ironic, right? No, I'm just kidding.
It's totally ironic.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, you know, I still have all the instruments and stuff from back when we were kids. You know, like there's like in somewhere I've got my old flute from like high school. You know, but the pads are all screwed up, and I don't have the money to fix it. But you know, I got all different kinds of instruments around here. So like in the Lord video, I used they. Oh, by the way, don't play the Lord video; it will get you copyright struck. It's one of the only ones I've done that has a copyright claim on it.
oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, but that hammered dulcimer that I'm playing in that one, I've had that. I don't know. It's an heirloom. I got it from like a great aunt or something. I mean, that thing's like 100 years old with all the original
Which
strings on.
which one again
It,
has the copyright? I want,
it's well, okay. So I did a version of Buzz Cut Season by Lord
oh, okay.
because
Let's go
because
by
I
Lord.
because I think it's funny. You know, you see a hobo singing some pop song by some young pop singer. I think it's funny. The optics are funny, right? Now, on the other hand, I will admit that I do like that song. But anyway, I played it with a cardboard box, and uh, I had so the flute that's being played in the background is actually beer bottles that have been filled up to a certain degree with water. So I had them all lined up, and I tuned them, right?
Okay.
So I used beer bottle flutes, cardboard box, basket full of bottle caps, hammer, dulcimer, and guitar and bass, and I think that's all I use in that one. But so when I blue unicornize things, I will change the key, I'll change the melodic contour, and then that way the algorithm's not going to immediately pick it up, right? Like for instance, Dead Kennedys did the song "Winnebago Warrior" by Elvis or whatever that was, but they played it in a different key, or what was it? I can't remember what song it was, but they played a song by Elvis and they just changed it to another key, and that gets you out of any kind of copyright problem. You didn't steal the song; it's the sheet music's not the same, right?
Right.
Or the melodic contour is not the same. So when it comes to YouTube, if you change a song to a different key and then change the way it's sung, the algorithm isn't necessarily going to pick it up and flag it immediately, right? But when it came to that Lord song, I forgot to do those things. And so as I'm uploading it, it's telling me copyright claim. What? But it's only for like the first minute and 10 seconds. Like the rest of it is not copyright claim, which is weird. Uh,
Yeah, I've gotten claims for like 4 seconds of a song.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
how does that work? Like,
Yeah, like at Sing Thingy, I get them all the time, and it's because of the music they're playing in the restaurant. And then the
mm,
YouTube picks that up and says, "Oh, there's some copyright thing claim." Like I haven't ever gotten a strike, because I think I could dispute the strike if it's because clearly that Mother song that I did, right? I mean that's not close. It's not even in the same key. Like I changed the key, changed the way I sing it. That's not even the same song. So I could dispute that and possibly win. But when it comes to YouTube, it's like you're arguing with a robot. So are you going to win that fight? I don't know.
I don't know with that much difference you might because I did and this was for a karaoke one of my karaoke's that I did and I had like 7 copyright claims, which is normal. I mean it's not a strike like you said. So, but I
Right,
was like,
right.
you know what? I'm gonna dispute every one of them.
Well, yeah, but you can't.
And
I
you take
mean,
30 days, and I did, and then after 30 days, they weren't copyright claim anymore. So
huh? Yeah. But generally, that's how it works in the copyright thing. Like my favorite example to use is that song. I don't even remember who sings it, but it's that song that goes, "All I need is the air that I breathe." I can't do it, or we'll get copyright claim, right? All I need is the air that I breathe in you, right? Now the chord structure of that song is exactly the same chord structure as "Creep" by Radiohead. So when Radiohead recorded "Creep," the record company that owned the rights to that song sued Radiohead. So now, when you look at who owns the song Creep, there's a partial ownership claim by this record company. Now, the band that wrote that other song said, "We didn't ask them to do that. That's lame." But the record company did it anyway. So then what happened, and it was because the chord structure was the same and it had the same feel to it, right? The melodic contour was too close that it was whatever. And so then Lana Del Rey has a song that has the exact same chord structure as Creep, and so then now Creep and this record label sued Lana Del Rey for using the same chords in the same pattern in the same cadence. So when it comes to copyrights, you can copyright the sheet music or you can copyright the melodic contour, but you can't copyright both. And so that was why when Spirit tried to sue Led Zeppelin for blatantly and clearly ripping off the Stairway to Heaven song from them, clearly, you know. But Spirit had copywritten the sheet music. And so then they would transcribe what Jimmy Page was doing, and the notes did not exactly match up, and therefore they didn't have any standing to sue because it wasn't exactly the same. Now, on the other hand, when you got Portugal the Man singing that song, right? That's clearly, hey, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Sounds like it. It's not the same words, same melody, though. So when
Yeah.
they were recording that song, they actually bought the mechanical rights to use that melody from whoever it was that wrote that song. So, but this is how ridiculous music is. If you just do something that sounds like somebody else, you could get sued for that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like how far do they take it, man?
They'll take it to the bank. Well, I had a buddy who he went to music school and learned all the music business stuff. And one of the things that he learned is that the music business actually makes most of its money suing people. Like they make more money suing somebody for copying a thing than they do from the actual thing. Like the song makes
Wow,
this
no
much money,
shit.
they make that much money suing people. And so this is why what we are all doing right now, all of us, all of you in the chat that I've been neglecting, I'm sorry, all of us right now, we are doing a thing which is very disruptive technology to the music industry. Like now, we can do it ourselves. There's no more, oh, your uncle is a guy who works for an A&R rep at Sire Records. Great, let's make a record. That's how that used to work. You had to know somebody who had contacts, or you're not going to get famous. Um,
Yep.
or or some A&R rep happens to come see your band play and they say, oh, this, like for instance, Lord herself. The only reason that Lord got famous was because she was playing music with one of her little friends. They were like 13, and the one guy played guitar and she was just singing. And that guy's dad was upstairs and he heard this and he thought, "Oh my God, this is incredible. I'm calling my buddy who's an A&R rep for the music. I can't remember what label it was." But then that guy came, and then they surreptitiously hid upstairs and listened while it was happening. And that's how she got famous. Was because her dad knew a guy, you know. Um,
Right.
Whereas on the other hand, you got this Tones and I gal who just went out and bust her ass off on the street and created a buzz herself and then drew the attention to herself, and now she's famous because of what she did. It's not because some record label made a this or that, or we can do it ourselves, guys, and I
Well,
think we
yeah, because
should.
you can do it. You can be independent now. You
Yeah,
know,
like
opposed to like you said, yeah, you got to be in the right place at the right time and just get lucky that some big
yeah, or
top
right,
exec,
or
you know.
yeah, or like they used to do back in the '60s, where oh, my dad's in the CIA, so my band is famous now.
Right.
But that's a whole different story, rabbit hole that we don't want to go down. But yeah, I mean that those days are over. I mean, I mean, I like good music that doesn't suck, and some of that music is rap music. I like some rap music.
Me too.
I'm not particularly like a fan of that Tom McDonald guy. I really like his message. Some of it, not all of it. Some of it. I understand the politics things that he's mentioning. All the conspiracy stuff. But I'm not like gonna run out there and buy Tom McDonald's new album or anything. But the fact of the matter is that motherfucker ate the music industry's lunch. He
Oh
ate their
yeah,
lunch.
we did. Yep.
Like his story is that he sent his demo out to all these labels and he said, like, One of them got back to him to tell him that they immediately threw his thing in the trash, right? Well, he was like, okay, well, I'll just do it myself then. And so who's laughing now? You know,
Right, and he
they
did.
could have
He's
made all
literally
those
like
millions of
he.
dollars on him, but now he made those millions of dollars for himself.
Yeah,
You know, and we can
take
do
that
that,
to the
people.
bank.
Yeah, we can do that. And Steve here is helping us do that. Conspiracy Music is helping us do that. All of us on YouTube that are providing these platforms for independent musicians to be heard and known. Like we could eat the industry's lunch. And as an anarchist, I say let's do it. You
Oh
know.
yeah. That's crazy. I was gonna act before you brought it up. I was gonna bring up the Tom McDonald because same thing. You know,
Yeah.
I like some of his messages and like what's behind it. But what
I
I
like that
the
he
main
ate their
thing I like
lunch.
about it is what he did. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Is what he did and how he did it. And it's like and but nah, but I like rap music, but that not so much that style. I like a few of his songs, but I'm more of like a Tech Nine kind of rap guy
Yeah, I
personally.
remember Tech Nine. I wasn't really a fan. I worked with a guy who was though, so I'm familiar. You know.
Right? He's still making an album. I think he's like 20 years straight, an album every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
But he's
When it comes to
independent.
rap, yeah, yeah. And when it comes to
So
rap, for me, the music is more important necessarily than the like I like Doctor Octagon. If you guys remember Doctor Octagon, it was a Cool Keith manifestation. Um, let's see, I like Artificial, which they have a live band that plays horns and bass and all that. It's great freaking band, Artificial. And then there's Audio Pharmacy. Like I freaking love if it's got live music or trip hop in general. I really like the trip hop music. So I'm
well,
not gonna like.
you just brought up horns. I gotta ask you. This is not rap, but have you ever heard of Me First and the Gimme Gimmes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Dude, you're like the first person that said yes. I think because every time
yeah.
I had to
Well,
like Me First and what?
yeah. Me
I'm like,
first and the Gimme Gimmes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And that was punk rock going way back. Mike, who was it that had? I think it was my cousin that had one or two of their records. But yeah, I'm familiar with them, and I remember the name really more than the music. But I've always
yeah,
liked the name.
yeah. They basically took, but they is all like you said, horns and trumpets, and they basically just took like like Billboard hits and just turned it in their own song. You know,
Right.
kind of
Yeah. There
like
you
what
go.
you did in
Kind of like what I do. Yeah.
yeah.
But
It's
I
but
just
it's
yeah, me first and the Gimme Gimmes. Yeah.
because I know
I'm
they did
not.
that one where ain't no sunshine when she's gone, but they made
There
it
you go.
real fast paced. You know, and at
Right.
the
See,
end when it's
that's a
normally
song I wouldn't
I
even try.
know.
I love that song the way it is. I don't think I would want to even try it. I don't know that I
Yeah, I
could
don't
pull
know.
it off.
It's pretty cool, man. I don't because that's when I always do the I know
Yeah.
instead of I know, you know, like actual song. It's just the way they like did it with the trumpets and everything in the back. They just like jazzed it up or whatever. But
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, horn. I do like a good horn section, but here's the thing: is that I really do not like a not good horn section.
right?
And there's like no real in between for me. It's like I'm like, well, they're a kind of good horn section. No,
Right. It's
I
either
like a
good,
good horn section. But
it's
you
either
got that
good
one
or it's
guy in
bad.
there that's off pitch and screwing the whole thing up, out. You know, I feel like Hannibal Lecter. I'm gonna eat that guy. He's ruined it for everyone. I'm going to eat him.
With a bit of fava beans.
Yeah, it was the guy. He was the orchestra guy, and he hit that one sour note, and so then Hannibal Lecter ate him, served him to everybody at the party.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's been a while since I watched that. Wow.
yeah, yeah, it's old. See, I'm full of movie references. A lot of people talk in song lyrics. I I kind of speak in movie references a lot.
Yeah. Well, I used to. Actually, I still do a little bit, but yeah, it's more now that yeah, I never thought of that. You just pointed that out for me. Hey, as if, aloha, brother. But yeah, you pointed that out for me because I like growing up. That's me and my dad would like go to the movies every weekend. I was like, if I wasn't at baseball practice or at a baseball game, he'd take me to the movies, and that's we spent more time together at the movies and so
There you
movies and
go.
movies and movies. But then as I got older, it was more music and music and music.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I've man, when I lived in Oregon, I've probably watched every movie they had at that Blockbuster before it closed. Everyone, because I didn't have a TV or cable, so I would just go there and rent some show and
yeah,
take it back. You know. But yeah, I was a cinephile for a very long time, but now it's like I barely watch movies at all. You know. But
yeah. I
here,
don't even
here in
remember the
my
last movie I watched. Shit, I really don't.
like here in my treasure chest, I got all of my collected DVDs. I got some good ones in there. Decline of the Western Civilization, that's a good one. But anyway, yeah, got a lot of.
I always like to watch the independent films.
Yeah, that's what that
Now,
was. Decline. It was the documentary about all the punk rock guys from LA. So it had
oh
the
okay,
like the Germs were in it, and Black Flag, and I'm trying to think who else. I think Fear, the band Fear, was on it. But it was all the old like old school like California punk rock stuff. But it's very like I don't even know if you can buy it anymore. Uh, but she made like I think two or three documentaries. There was a Decline of the Western Civilization Metal Years. Some people might know
oh
that one.
yes, yes. I think it was. It might have been more than three, but I watched. Shit, was it a heavy metal years or something?
Yeah, yeah. The Metal
I
Years
watched that
was part
one,
two.
and I actually have it in my watch later list
Yeah, it's like
because
nowadays you can watch all these on YouTube, but man, in
yeah,
my day you had to like buy it somewhere, and if it wasn't available, it wasn't available.
yeah,
Like it's somewhere I got a VCR copy of the movie Suburbia. It's like, well, you can watch
Suburbia.
Suburbia on YouTube right now. Like, you don't need a VCR at all.
I want to give real quick a huge shout out to As If It's Your Business member for 8 months. I don't know why it can't let me highlight the one that's in the YouTube side, but it says Aloha Steve, howdy folks. Member for 8 months. Much love. Yeah, as if you're awesome, brother. Love you, man.
Aloha. As if I see you around in chats and things, and so this is the mug that's typing in those
Yeah,
chats. If you see
yeah.
me in there,
You can put a face to the comments
there you go.
and a
There's
voice.
JM Unleashed. I see JM Unleashed. Rock on. He's probably been here a long time, and I just haven't been paying attention because I run at the mouth. Like I told you, man. If you get me talking, I don't shut up.
Well, I get so interested too. I'm not much of a multitask person, so I'm interested in what you're saying. So I'm listening, and then I'm like, oh yeah, chat, shit.
Right, right. Yeah,
Because if
I'm
I'm
used to
reading
like,
chat, I'm not fully paying attention to you, and then I'm gonna miss something you're saying. So it's like, uh,
eh, yeah, I'm used to like being, marginalized down to a corner and muted while other people talk, and then I can chat with everybody on my phone.
oh wait, as if just gifted 5 memberships. Shoot, right on, man. Steve O
Nice.
was gifted a membership. Hoot Owl Holler. Just Me, Kathy. The Deal for Real. The Deal for Real. Scat Pack 2. We're all gifted a membership. Right
Nice.
on.
I always I always
Thank
troll
you.
when that happens. I go, nobody gifts Blue Unicorn a membership, and then I put in parentheses. But it's just something I do every time somebody's gifted memberships. I always type that in there because I know I'm not one of the people who was gifted the membership.
What I don't get, because I don't know if it used to be different or if it's always been that way, because the gifting is kind of cool. I mean, it is cool, but you can't pick who is. It's like, I think their algorithm just like randomly picks whoever out
Oh, is
of
that
one
how
of
that
your
works? I don't know.
subscribers.
Well, there was
Yeah.
one that I thought that it was asking me to like click on something to be, it was like a whoever
Yep,
clicks.
that's what I was gonna say. I think it used to be like if let's say when as if gifted it. Yeah, it did. I remember this now. Yeah, I'm not making this up in my head. I
Yeah,
remember
I
this
don't know.
because it
I'm
was like if you're
YouTube
the first
illiterate.
person to click on, like it says, as if just gifted. If you're the first person to click on it, then you're the one that gets that membership.
Yeah,
And then they
I've seen
changed
that
it.
before. Yeah,
Yeah, then they changed it to where it's like, nope, we're gonna pick who gets it. It's like,
yeah. I don't even know what any of that means. Yeah, my channel is not monetized at all, so none of those things are options. I even think I don't know. I don't even know what a
well,
member would do or does.
you you are at 902 subscribers, so you need 98
Holy shit!
more.
I broke the 900 mark. Damn, I've
Yeah,
been like
I forgot to
hovering about
check. I usually check beforehand, and I forgot to check how many subscribers you were at before we went
903.
on.
Thank you, everybody. 903. I was hovering around 885 for weeks, and
Oh,
it
cool.
was because we were all trying this experiment where we were making ridiculous shorts, and then all of a sudden my subscribers started to climb, and I was like, well, but I don't know if they even know to what they're subscribing. They're like, haha, this short's funny, and they subscribe, and then they go watch like two of my videos and go, oh, I'm out. Boop. Because it would go, and so I quit making those shorts, and then it stopped at like 885 and just hovered there for a couple weeks. Like go 887, down to 883, back up to 885. Because I was kind of thinking, it's one thing to have a lot of subscribers, but the way I'm seeing this is like, I'll go do a sing thingy, and 20 people show up every time, same folks every time, and it's awesome, right? 20 people. So then that leaves 880. What are they doing? They're abstractions. So, like, I like to think that I don't watch that number, but of course we all do. But for me, it's all you guys that show up to my sing thingies. Y'all know who you are. I love it. Those are my audience, those 20 people. I don't know who the 880 other people are, but those 20 are my core. You know what I mean? I do it for them.
Yeah,
Or they wouldn't come. So
that's
I
what
love
makes
it.
it hard for me because you're talking about when you go out and actually perform live, right?
Yeah,
And
like when I do an open mic,
yeah,
20,
yeah,
there's
because
at
of the
least
time
20.
change and the time difference. I've caught a few. I think I've caught it. Yeah, a few, at least
Yeah,
three. But
I've
yeah,
seen you there
w-
once or twice.
with the
But the
time
thing is,
difference, it's like,
yeah, right, because it's whatever. It's like 5 in the morning wherever you are, or
or it's still like
I
two
don't
in the
remember which way that
afternoon.
goes.
And yeah, I'm behind. I'm behind
Right.
myself.
So Sir Leonard, I don't know if he's here. Sir Leonard is in Scotland. So when I go on at 8 o'clock, it's like I don't even know what time, but it's real early
Like a
morning.
day and a half later or some shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I try to always play second on the list, just simply because I know there's people in other time zones that are gonna not want to stay up that late. Uh,
Right.
and plus it's because sometimes nobody wants to go second, because essentially you're going first. The guy who sets up the show plays first, and then now you're going on, and nobody wants to go second. They want to wait for all the people,
Yeah.
and I say I don't have to wait for all the people. I brought my crowd with me.
Yeah, you got, yeah.
See what I'm saying? And those 20, it averages about 20. There might be a few more, a few less, and I love it because you get to some of these channels that have like 100,000 subs or whatever, and the chat's scrolling by so fast that there's no
Oh, I
interaction.
know.
It's just nobody's paying attention to what anybody's saying. So there's just like it's like having 20 people at your party, and they're all hanging out in your living room watching you play guitar,
Yeah,
and
that's kind of like what
it's
Dom
awesome.
Torgrosa said when he was on. It was like because he showed up on my karaoke birthday bash for my birthday, and he was like, I was supposed to stop at this bar on the way, and he's like, there was like one car in the parking lot, and I could have went and sang there, and I'm like, let's go, and I think there was like 47 people in the shade. He's like, And his friend was like, "Well, you didn't play live in front of everyone." And he's like, "No, I went on Steve's karaoke birthday bash. I played in front of
Right.
47 people."
There you go. Well, and it's not
You
even
know?
that because I made this comment on my sing thingy last night or Tuesday night, which I said I was making reference to the live audience is able to throw cabbages at you when you bomb, right? Like the old theater thing where everybody throwing rotten tomatoes at you. If you're sitting
Yeah.
right there, they can throw rotten tomatoes at you. So it's a lot more intimidating than being on the internet where somebody's like, I do not like this person. Boop. And they're gone. And you don't hear them booing you, right? And so then, of course, everyone in the chat started throwing chat tomatoes at me, and it was hilarious. But, but the point is, though, on the other hand, the internet is millions of people that you don't see. So when you bomb on the internet, millions of people are going to see that. And so now it really boils down to whether or not you give a shit or not. You know, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit. If I fart in front of millions of people on the internet. But when I bomb on a stage in front of people in a crowd, like I used to really get scared. Even when I had the band, every time I'd get on that stage, I'd be freaking scared. You know, but I'm getting over that now, so it's all good, and I have everyone to thank for it. Like if Clay hadn't pulled me out of the hole and brought me around here, I wouldn't be doing music. And if I didn't watch Valerie Bott Friday Morning Song Club, here you go. Oh, I thought I was wearing the Valerie Bott shirt. Um,
Oh, she was in here
or
earlier. She said she was wearing a blue unicorn shirt.
oh, I think I am wearing it. I think it's inside out though. Oops. Um, I'll fix it here in a minute. But anyway, like if I hadn't watched her go, do her Friday Song Club, and then she talked about going to play live, and she plays live, and I thought, man, I haven't played live in a long time, and so I mentioned it in her chat, and she says, "Hey, did you guys hear Blue Unicorn and me are gonna go do an open mic on Thursday?" And of course, it was a joke. But then I went ahead and went down there, and she was there. I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh shit!
she drove down from Boulder because we both from Colorado, and so she drove down from Boulder, and we did an open mic together. But that was the first live performance that I had done in 25 years. So she inspired me to go play live, and so then, like I said, I was telling you earlier, Amber L inspired me to put a phone in front of me and just record me playing and put it on the internet. So I get so much inspiration from everyone here. And anyway,
That's
I,
awesome,
I
though,
just I
man.
just think whatever. I think that Clay tapping me on the shoulder in that chat room and said, "Hey man, we played your song." That was like the whole path I was on just went boop like that. Changed directions. Now I'm headed in this other direction that's far better than the one I was on.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, and
I, for,
I
yeah,
truly believe everything happens for a reason, good or
yeah, or it
bad.
wouldn't be.
I
Yeah,
truly believe that. You know.
there's an old I think it's from Mesopotamia, but it's found its way into different religious lore. But it goes when the gods ordain a thing to die, it will command that thing's legs to carry it to the proper time and place, right? It's the idea of destiny. You're gonna die whenever the gods decide it. So you sitting around worrying about it now isn't helping you at all, you know.
Hmm.
And the Vikings had a similar. It was like, don't hide in a hole when there's business to be done, right? Because if you're afraid of dying, and so you dig a hole and hide in it while the battle's going on, you might just die in that hole. Maybe your destiny is to die in that hole, So don't worry about that. That's out of your control. Only worry about what's in your own control. So anyway,
Absolutely,
it's like
absolutely.
stoic belief. I don't have any control over I have control over myself, and I can not do this or that or the other thing. But really, I could quit eating meat and go start running and quit smoking cigarettes and then get hit by a bus in a week.
Yep.
None of that matters.
is when they say this is bad for you or that's bad. Like, drinking too much milk is bad for you too. You gonna
Yeah,
stop drinking milk? Like,
yeah. Drink a gallon of water and see what happens to you.
right?
You
You
know, what I mean?
know, like you don't
Everything's
drink
bad.
enough water. Well, don't drink too much though. But you
Yeah,
don't drink
well,
like
yeah,
what?
no. I mean, if you drank a gallon of water, you'll die.
Oh,
You know, you're
yeah, people do. Yeah, there was. I remember there was a chick that I think she did die because
yeah.
a radio contest or something, and she just kept drinking. I don't remember the
Yeah,
story
yeah,
now,
there
but
was, yeah, there was that. There was a thing happened here in Denver back, I don't know, 20 years ago. It was during the rave era. And um, just so Ed Hen knows, unicorn, it's same as einhorn, which just means one horn. Doesn't really have anything to do with corn. So anyway, but there was a it was a propaganda that was going all around here in Colorado because some girl took some ecstasy at a rave, and her friend said, "Make sure you stay hydrated." And then she proceeded to drink like a gallon of water,
oh
and then she died from the water leaking into her organs. But the
yeah,
commercials on TV, they all said ecstasy was the only drug in her system. And so they didn't say that she drank so much water she died. They emphasized that she was on ecstasy. So, well, the ecstasy is not what killed her, right? It may have caused a circumstance in where this sort of thing might happen, but that's not what killed her. But they propagandized and said, "Oh, ecstasy's bad; it'll kill you." This girl
yep.
died, and what was so weird, I was telling this story when I was in Corvallis. I was over at this guy's house. There's all these people there, and I was talking about this, the nature of propaganda, and I was telling that story. There was a guy sitting on the couch over here, and he was just nodding his head the whole time. And once I got done telling the story, he was like, "Yeah, that was my brother's girlfriend." And I was like, "What?" "Yeah, no, I'm from Denver. That was my brother's girlfriend." And you're 100% correct. That's exactly what happened. Well, there you go. But that's not what the news told everybody happened.
Right. That's why you
But it
gotta
was
turn
just
the
weird
TV
that I
off.
was I was all the way over on the other side of the whatever and ran into a guy that personally knew the person that I was talking about. So that was pretty weird. It was that one in a million chance, you know. They say a
Yeah,
one in a
literally,
million.
1 in a million. Yep, probably more
Yes.
than a million.
Well, they say statistically that a one in a million chance happens to you about once every 3 months. So it's actually not that
No
uncommon.
shit. Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just learned that the other day. So I'm repeating it. That's what I do.
But for me, that's why I turned the TV off a while ago. Because
Right. Right.
TV is not gonna tell you what the truth is.
So, so hey, let's ask the chat real quick. Let's say, hey, do you guys want to watch a video of some music? I'm not saying that I have to go to the bathroom, but just in case I do,
Just in case.
just in case I do have to do that, would you guys like to watch a video?
There's this Black Flag cover.
There you go, Black Flag. 100th Monkey, that's a great book, and that's an awesome theory. Dennis Ellis knows the 100th Monkey. That's a very bizarre phenomena. You guys should go read about 100th Monkey. See, these are the kinds of bizarre facts that I know. See, Dennis says 100th Monkey, I know exactly what he means. Most people are like, what? But it has to do with monkeys learning how to wash radioactive coconuts.
See, now I'm gonna have to look into that because I don't know that one.
Ed Hen mentioned Just in Case. I actually knew a guy whose name was Just in Case. He died, though, a long time ago.
All right, we're gonna play the Black Flag cover, and just in
All right.
case anyone has to use the restroom,
Yeah, Just
restroom,
in
just in case you're
Case.
tired, you can go rest.
Yeah, Just in Case died, but Blue Unicorn's alter ego might need to go do that.
That's a good one. Just in case died. Oh, I like that. Is that a Heineken sticker on there? The green one at the top. The green one at the top. It looked like Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, I forgot my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is an Oregon band called the Pine Hearts.
Oh, okay. I just seen
They're
the
kind of like
green
a.
and it looked like a
This
Heineken. Just
is a guy that I've known since we were teenagers. I went and saw his noise band or his noise production. It's called Rejected Causes with a K. Causes. If you're into noise music, you can go check him out. I've known him since we were wee little teenage punk rockers. Let's see what else do I got. This is some. I don't know. I got it at a weed store, and it's like a wine glass with roots, but I turned it upside down, and that looks like a vulva, if you know what that means. And this is like some kind of crown that I turned upside down because it looks like a little funny guy with eyes. See, these are the ridiculous things you can expect from a blue unicorn. Nothing is quite right. Okay, so
I
on
love
with the
it though.
show.
I love it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's if anyone needs a bathroom break, this is that time. And here is in my head by black flag cover by blue unicorn. Blue unicorn style.
I hear voices when no one's around, silent voices that no one can see. I hear voices that don't make a sound, distant drowning that calls out to me. Feels so nice and hopeless when I'm rotting in your arms. In my head, I wanna be that bullet that goes ripping through your skull. In my head, in my head. Sometimes strangers who are good friends of mine, they always come over when no one's around. Strangers can sometimes put lights in the dark. They crawl in my face and won't leave me alone. Feels so nice and hopeless when I'm burning through your skull. In my head, in my head, I wanna be that bullet that goes ripping through your brain. In my head, in my head. I haven't been in the absence of light. I feel it lying inside of my skull. When I was in there, I wasn't alone. Someone was laughing and pointing at me. I feel secure inside of my head. The times of brilliance is trapped in the dark. I feel secure inside of my head. The brilliance of light is a shot in the dark. It feels so nice and hopeless when I'm rotting in your arms. In my head. In my head, I wanna be that bullet that goes ripping through your brain. In my head, in my head.
Here's some old punk rock record. Here we go. Um, here's some old punk rock for you. Did you ever see the concrete stairs of every day? The lunatic, the hypocrite, they're all lost in the fray. But can't you see their lives are just like yours? Well, did you ever see the concrete stairs of every day? The lunatic, the hypocrite, they're all lost in the fray. Can't you see their lives are just like yours? An unturned stone and undiscovered door leading to the gift of hope renewed. Eternity for you. The masses of humanity have always had to suffer. Well, the businessman, his master plans to control the world each day, without an indication of our species' slow decay. Can't you see his life is just like yours? An unturned stone and undiscovered door leading to the gift of hope renewed. Eternity for you. Masses of humanity have always had to suffer. People blow their minds, they choose to resign. This deformed society is part of our design. It'll never go away, it's in the cards that way. And the masses of humanity have always had to suffer. Always had to suffer. Bad religion. Suffer. Blue Unicorn style. There you go. Some Bad Religion for you guys. I don't have my ears on, so just give me one quick second. Okay, got my ears on. Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted.
Nope, you're not. You're not muted. It's good. Closing this up. Yeah. Ended up playing the second one because I seen you weren't back yet. And I was like,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah,
I was
another
like,
one.
oh, cool. I'll grab a half a smoke.
And I missed, even though I was doing all that, I missed all the chat too.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that was a Bad Religion song. I can't remember if I think I learned that. I was doing a series, it was kind of a game where I would just play a bunch of cover songs and then the people in the chat would try to figure out what song it was.
No, I
And
remember that. Yeah, because
yeah, it
I
was
was actually trying to play that, but it was harder than I thought.
yeah, because I usually pick a bunch of like really obscure songs that nobody knows. And so every once in a while I'd throw in like I did I don't know who wrote it, but Miley Cyrus is famous for playing it. Wrecking Ball, I even learned that because I figured some people would know it. Um, I can't remember, but I don't know.
What is that song, or what is that song and why?
Yeah, yeah. What is that song and why?
Yeah, those are good. I
But
was watching those and I couldn't figure any of them. I think I figured one out, and I don't remember which one it was now.
yeah, most of them
Can
were really obscure. Like I learned a song called Animal Notes, or no, Animal Skins, and it was by a band called Crack the Sky, which was like a East Coast band, and they're really famous and they're still around, but nobody's ever heard them. It's like one of the greatest bands nobody's ever heard. But there was one guy, my buddy Renegade. I've known this guy since we were CB guys. Like Renegade was his handle, and Blue Unicorn was my handle. Break one night for Renegade. You got your ears on. Come on back. Boop. Right. And so I knew that if he showed up, he would get that one right, and he got it in like half a second. As soon as I started playing it, he knew exactly what it was. But yeah, there's a lot of them were just like old punk rock or old. I think I did like a Susie and the Banshees song and some Leonard Cohen and Baltimore band Crack the Sky. Joe McGraw knows who they are. Yep. So Joe McGraw might even know the song. Here, I'll see if I can play it. Am I in drop D? can't do it on this guitar. I'm gonna need the other one. But I bet he knows it. It's a great song. Oh, I boned it. Anyway, shine on backwards, oh masters of my fate. I bet he knows that song. It's a great song. So anyway, but yeah, I did the guessing game thing, and then it kind of it turned into like homework, and so I'll explain what the whole imitation is the weakest form of flattery thing means. So back when I was in my band, I had all these songs that we could play and learn. It's just that they were like, man, that doesn't really rock. So I'd rather learn this Judas Priest song or whatever. And I said, man, we're not a jukebox, guys. We're When Gods Attack. We write our own songs. And well, yeah, but, your songs just kind of don't rock or whatever. And I said, look, guys, okay, here's the deal. If we're going to do a cover song, we need to make it our own. Because if we're going to just imitate someone else's song, there's nothing creative about that. If I want to hear some Skinner, I can turn on the radio, right? And so, like an example, we were talking earlier. The example I would say would be like Jack Hunter and Conspiracy Music's version of what is it, Sweet Home Alabama, I think. Now that kicks ass, right? So if I hear a band play Sweet Home Alabama, I don't want to hear an imitation. I want to hear their rendition of that song, right? And
Yep.
so it kind of sort of worked with these guys, but because the way I see it is that if I like your song enough that I want to learn how to play it, well, I would like to show homage, right? But if I'm imitating you, that's not really showing much creativity. I mean, it shows talent, but you know, I don't know. I could write my own song instead of, and so that's kind of how I started to think about doing all of these cover songs for the show. I was like, you know, I'm just, it's homework now. If I want to learn a song, it should be a song that I like and want to learn. But then I got to thinking, well, I got to write this down now. What songs am I going to do for next week? And so Blue Unicorn got pissed off at me and was like, dude, this is not a jukebox. And so he took away my keys and he took away the costume. He says, I'm not allowed to post any videos until I write another song. And so that's why I wrote that new song. So I think I can probably post more videos now.
I
But
hope
anyway.
so. I hope so.
Yeah, Blue Unicorn's kind of a jerk. He's all, oh, I'm an anarchist and stuff, but then he has all these rules that I have to follow. So I don't know. Freaking hypocrite. I shouldn't. Oh man, he's probably listening. He travels around the realms and stuff. Yeah,
And Red
see, there he is.
Unicorn's right behind him.
Well, Red Unicorn, she's more the voice of reason. She's more understandable and more reasonable. Blue Unicorn's just kind of whimsical and crummy. Take that, Blue Unicorn. See, he was making fun of me in his video that he posted, so right back at you, pal.
It's
See,
great. I
there he
love
is in the
your I
chat.
love your videos too. Like the artwork of it or the creativity of it. It's just I don't know. It's like
Yeah,
stuff like
oh.
that. I just get into it right away, and like I notice like other people around me sometimes, like if I'm at work or on a job or something, and like the electrician's there and like other people, they're like, what is that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why are you acting like that? Like, this is good shit. What are you talking about? But I just know a lot of people don't think the same way as me or don't,
Right, right.
you know what I
Well, I
mean?
have like a mild, yeah, I think on a different level. There was an ostrich man in here wagging his tail in front of the camera. If
No,
anybody,
that's an electric cord.
he says it's an electric cord. I think it's his tail.
No, it plugs into my phone. You want to see? Pretty cool. Ostriches don't really have tails; they have tail feathers, kind of.
kind of. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but yeah,
A little bit.
That's Ostrich Man that make the best videos.
I do.
So like and subscribe and all that. Okay,
Ostrich man.
that make the best videos.
Man.
Well, technically that's his alter ego,
Right. Right.
but he's. See, we have these opposite personalities. Like I'm the kind of guy you point a camera at me and I shut up and leave the room because I don't really want you to record me. Whereas him, you point a camera at him and he'll like perform. So, so he's a rock star. He just doesn't know it yet. And it just so happens that he's wearing a shirt that says "Blue Unicorn is my spirit animal," available at the Valerie Bat store. So everybody go buy one.
Yeah, definitely.
Magnifying glass. Ooh.
Yeah, see, he's like, yeah, not everything's about you, Dad. Anyway, but yeah, no, I mean the artwork that goes into the videos and stuff, it's all like that's all frame by frame animation, you know. And so I start with photographs, and then I put all the photographs into Photoshop, and then I manipulate the photographs into frame by frame sequences. And so, you know, like for instance, that baby sleeping video, if you guys ever go watch it, it's like 13 minutes long or something. That video took me like 6 months to finish. And then
Right.
here,
It's what?
ostrich bud, you gotta really put a damper on that,
It's
all
I,
that.
Tear the Mightier. Whoa.
Well, that's a character that we haven't introduced him yet.
Well, he's introduced now.
Okay, well, he's trying to introduce a new character named Tyr the Mightier.
He's. You talked about him before. Why can't we introduce him now?
Right.
Ooh.
You just got to do it, guys. Sorry, but anyway, but yeah, so it's all, you know, that thing took me like 6 months to make. There's probably, I don't even know, a couple thousand frames in that thing. And so I'd spend hours and hours working on 27 frames, and then I put them in the thing, and then it's done in like 3/4 of a second. So
Right.
I've just put hours and hours of work into 3/4 of a second, and I'm like, damn, I still got 11 minutes to go. So,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
I
I
was
don't.
gonna say when you said before you said 6 months, because once I started doing editing not too long ago, I was like, wow. I'm like, it took me like my first one I think was like 12 hours just for a 10-minute video, and it's like, wow. But I'm not doing it the same way you're talking about.
Yeah, no,
Like the way
I'm
you're
using.
talking about is way whole higher, different level,
Yeah,
completely
and well,
different.
it's like what I was saying before. I use the tools that I have available. Well, this laptop I have here is probably, I don't know. I acquired it from a guy that gave it to me in like 2013 maybe, and I mean it uses Windows 7, so
Oh,
but none of my
yeah.
recording software works on it. So it has a movie maker program on it, and that's what I use. And then over here, I got this tower computer that runs Windows XP, and I have like a 1999 version of Cool Edit Pro, which is like Cakewalk or something like that. But that software doesn't run on this, and I can't afford any new stuff, and so whatever. I just use what I have, and that's how that goes.
But you're still making it work though.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
was
it
saying
creates its own
earlier, like you
style,
got to
you know.
make it you got to make it happen. And that's inspiring to me.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show. Like over here on the stand, I use these for mixers now because the tape players don't work. But I have these two Tascam 4-track tape recorders that were my first recording gear, and now they're just mixers. But it came with this VHS tape that you could watch, you know, like an instructional video. And the guy says, what you have here in this 4-track tape recorder is 1,000 times better than what the Beatles had, right? Just in this little thing, because the technology advanced and whatever. And so that Cool Edit Pro that I use over there from 1999 is 10,000 times better than what the Beatles had. So So why do I need the latest copy of Adobe Premiere or something like that when like this 1999 version of Photoshop that I use has 1,000 things on it that I don't even know how to use. So
Right.
if I went and got me Adobe Premiere, that's going to have 3,000 things on it that I don't know how to use.
Yep.
so
Good point.
so
Very
what
good
I
point.
have is what I use because I know how to use it. You know.
Yeah. To me, that would be kind of frustrating though. Like you said, doing all that, and then it's like 3/4 of a second. Like, ah, shit.
Yeah. Well, I've
I
gotten better
still
at it.
have 12 minutes to go. I'm not even a second there.
Right, right. Well, I've gotten much better at it, so now I know how to navigate things and make things happen quicker and whatever. But yeah, it's still a bunch of work. Like, um, you know, someone, I have to take a picture of myself tied to a pole, and then go put that into the thing and Photoshop it so it looks like red unicorns tied to a tree. you know?
Right.
But so I'll take a photo of like the mountains. The mount. I live kind of right up next to the the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. So if I just drive west for 30 minutes, I'm deep in the mountain forest. And so anyway, so I take pictures of cool things in different places, and so almost everything in my videos are real photographs, unless it's something that I just took from, like if I needed a picture of like a building on fire. It's not like I'm gonna go just set something on fire so I can get a picture of it. So I might steal
Right.
something from the internet that way. But for the most part, those are all like actual photographs that I've taken. Um, so yeah, but the introduction of the characters had to do with like I kept trying to get people to be in my videos, and it's really hard to get people to want to do that. And finally, there was my friend Mandy Pants, and she says, "Okay, sure, I'll be one of your characters." And she turned out to be Mrs. Smith in the baby sleeping video. And then after I got done with the video, she was mad at me. She was like, "I don't like my character." So what do you mean? Well, she's just mean, and she's mean and violent. I don't like that. I said, well, no, that's the point. Like,
That's a
the guy's
character. It's
the
not
guy's a
you.
drunk loser, and you're mean and violent, and both of the characters suck, and that's the point of the thing. And well, I don't like it, and so then she wouldn't ever be in any of my other videos. Now, of course, her character was dead. In the video, she got murdered and buried. Um, but I
But
had
it's also
other.
just a character, and it's not her.
Yeah, she
It's the
took it
character.
personally. She thought I was like
Right.
taking a shot at her or something. I was like, no, you're just a character in the story.
Yeah.
She said, well, I still don't like it. Well, and so then she wouldn't be in any more of my videos. So that's when Red Unicorn got introduced because Mandy wouldn't put on a red dress and dance for me. so
Well,
so I
shit,
just
man.
did so I just did it myself.
If you ever need another character, man, I'll be a character in one of your videos.
All
You make
right.
any character you want. I won't take it personal.
Okay. Yeah. Well, everything gets blue unicorn eyes. Like I put Yurgi and Drew from Misery Machine in one of my videos, and it's just like a picture of their faces and their mouths going ga 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 as they're
Right.
talking. So like I did it on the one video where the Steve Harlow Hayes Music Mayhem something something, right? I'm sure you saw that video, but yeah, like
Oh
Clay
yeah, yeah.
Clay Clay's little icon is talking, because there wasn't a picture of his face, or no, his face was talking, and it was Doc's icon was talking. Like, but I did the whole little cartoon face thing, so everybody gets that. If you're in my video, that's what it's gonna look like. You're gonna have a little face with a little talking.
Yeah, with just the jaw,
Yeah, yeah.
the jaw
And that actually
simulator.
came from. Okay, I don't know if he's in here, but I don't. I can't remember his YouTube moniker. But anyway, this guy I knew years ago. He made this. Him and this other guy were like really freaking hammered, and they had this video camera, and they decided to make a kung fu movie, and it was called Kung Fu versus Karate. And they needed characters, but they were running out of costumes and people to be in it because it was just the two of them. And so he just like drew a picture of a guy, and then they cut out the mouth, and then from behind he made it go blah 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 blah. And that was where I got the idea. I was like, oh, if, I'm gonna totally make Blue Unicorn do that. It was really funny, but that video was hilarious, man. It was called Kung Fu versus Karate. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube anywhere, but man, it was funny.
I definitely gotta look that up though.
Yeah, yeah. They were both hammered. They had like a bottle of whiskey and a camcorder, and then this movie came out of it. And he did the funny voice where he's like, "Your kung fu is poor. My karate utilizes electricity." He talked like that, like the old voiceover guys in the kung fu movies that thought everyone
Yeah,
in the
they do
United
that
States sounded like John Wayne or whatever. It's
when
hilarious.
they're moving, and but it's like my kung fu is way better than yours.
Yeah, yeah.
And
My
it's like, what?
karate is far superior than your kung fu. Yeah, it's a lot funnier than I'm describing it, of course, but you just have to watch it. I don't know if he put it up there. I think his oh, what is it? His channel has something to do with Bernie Casey. I think is his name, Bernie Sammy Terry, right? Sammy Terry was like a Elvira character that did horror movie stuff in Indiana, and
Right?
so my buddies,
Yeah.
he grew up watching horror movies on Sammy Terry's show, and so I can't remember the name of his channel, but it has something to do with Sammy Terry.
I'm gonna try to find that now.
There you go.
Shoot, well, we're going pushing the 3 hour mark.
Oh wow.
Are there any other songs you want to sing for
Yeah,
the
I guess I could play another
chat?
song. We still got some folks in chat. You guys want to hear another song? You guys want to hear a video or a live song?
One for alive.
Because it just so happens that I have a guitar, or I also have a YouTube channel. So either one works. Oh, Todd Bushy's out. Says, have a wonderful evening. So we got a one. We got a bunch of ones. Now I forgot what it was, though. Is that original song one?
Uh, or actually, it was just live song.
Oh, live song. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
but
So it doesn't
so yeah. So
necessarily
now
have to be original.
one for original or two for a cover. But you do have 71% says yes, they're subscribed, and 12% said I wasn't subscribed, but I am now.
Nice. Thanks, everybody. Absurdity awaits. You got to have a really awkward sense of humor to really understand what's happening there, because the whole channel is based on absurdism. So, anyway, but it's all dead serious. It's all just disguised as a joke. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Church of the Subgenius. That's what my hat here is. It's got Bob Dobbs on it. He's the guy with a pipe hanging out of his mouth. But their whole philosophy was: is this a religion disguised as a joke, or a joke disguised as a religion? Right. So that's kind of the same concept as Blue Unicorn. You don't know if I'm being serious or not. Usually I am, but it's disguised as a joke. All right, so let's see. What song could I play that's in drop D? There you go. Zappa fan can't bore him. All right. What song should I play?
Shit.
Got that one. Got that one. I could play like one of the Operation Enduring Bullshit songs, or I could play one of my sad originals, or I could play any number of covers. I can play Dance Monkey. You guys want to hear that? I was messing around with it one day.
Shout out JM for the super chat. Thank you,
How about
brother.
you? I'll play that. How about I'll play a Susie and the Banshees song? How about that? I really like playing it.
Susie and the Banshees. Oh, Susie and the Banshees. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you like Susie and the Banshees? Okay. All right. Can you guys hear and everything?
Yep. Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, whoops! I gotta go to drop C. Sorry. All right, here we go. Sing along, everybody. It goes like this. It goes. In the sharp gust of love, my memory stood when time wreathed a rose, a garland of shame. Its thorn, my only delight, wore torn, afraid to speak. We dared to breathe. Majestic, imperial, a bridge of sighs. Solitude sails in a wave of forgiveness on angels' wings. So reach out your hands, don't turn your back, don't walk away. How in the world could I wish for this, never to be torn apart? Close to you till the last beat of my heart. At the close of the day, the sunset cloaks these words in shadow play. Here and now, long and loud, my heart cries out. And the naked bone of an echo says, don't walk away. Just reach out your hands, I'm but a step away. How in the world could I wish for this, never to be torn apart? Close to you till the last beat of my heart. Close to you till the last beat of my heart. Till the last beat, till the last fleeting beat of my heart. There you go. Last Beat of My Heart
Nice.
by Susie and the Banshees.
That was awesome. Definitely awesome.
That was a song that, or that was a band that my sister used to like, and so I didn't like it because it wasn't punk, and she was some new wave goth and listened to all that. But as I grew older, I realized that yeah, there's some pretty good music that I just for whatever reason didn't like. And
Yeah, I
so
jumped
Susie
around
was
growing up. Growing up, I literally, I like listened to, yeah, I was all over because I went from like heavy metal to like hardcore rap to like pop and then to like hair band and then back to, and then I just realized I'm like, I just like everything. I don't care.
yeah. That's
Like,
why I use the thing.
you
I
know,
like music that doesn't suck, and there's all sorts
yep,
of music that doesn't suck.
best way to put it is
You know, I mean,
if it's music and it doesn't suck, I like it. If it sucks,
yeah.
then
then I don't like it, but I won't listen to it. But there's all sorts of, I mean, just because I like punk rock doesn't mean that every punk rock band is awesome. Like, there's quite a few punk rock bands that I just won't listen to. But
Yep.
whatever. But it was like I said, I'm not a, like for instance, when I was a kid, I was a break dancer, you know, break
Oh,
dancer.
really?
Yeah. I didn't break dance, but I dressed like one and stuff and listened to the music.
Oh, I
You know
got
how
you.
it was.
Oh, yeah.
And so then, of course, I went from being a little elementary school break dancer to being a middle school skateboard guy, and then punk rock, and then I was punk rock, and everything had to be punk rock, and I didn't like if it wasn't punk rock, blah blah blah. And then finally, in my early 20s, I learned that there's this stuff out there. It's called music, and like some of it's really good. And so then I broadened my horizons in my early 20s. And now I understand, yeah, yeah, not all punk rock is good either. So,
Right.
but in fact,
But that's also
I barely
that's
even listen to punk rock anymore. Like, I really just don't. I have it in my collection, but I'm not like, oh, I just can't wait to go put that Misfits song on. I'm just not like that.
yeah. But that's like life though too, right? Like you said, in your 20s, you realize, that's how life works, right?
It is. Well, and it's like a great example would be Metallica. Oh, you don't. Oh, you like Metallica? Well, I like Metallica before they were cool or whatever. Like back when they were thrash metal and they were kick ass. And then now you got the new Metallica, which is not that old Metallica. Well, I would expect that because they're 40 years older now and like different stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like that's not Metallica. That is Metallica, right? It's just different than what they used to do. Well, I'd be kind of upset if they were the age they are now and they're still playing that exact same music that they were playing.
Good point. Really good
Like,
point. Yep.
I'm really happy that I don't play punk rock now in a little punk rock band like I did back then, because now I know how to play all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah. And
So,
as if what he just said is very true, because yeah, it is. It's says this conversation is just like my conversation. I did highlight it in a video. I'm trying to remember which video that was. But yeah, I did highlight it, and I opened the video with as if it. I keep almost saying his name, but
I know,
as
right?
if it's your business saying what, and it's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah,
I
as if
kept almost saying my boy's name. So these are characters. So Tyr the Mightier comes from the mighty Thor, but Tyr is mightier. Tyr the Mightier. Tyr is the
right.
anyway. So that's one of the characters. But I kept almost like saying his name. I was like, hey, dude, don't do that, because he doesn't want the internet to know what his name is, because he's Ostrich Man that make the best videos. But I kept almost doing it. And then freaking Valerie one day, she totally did it on her live stream. I went to go see her play live at a bar, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to come up here and sing?" And I was like, "No, but I'd appreciate you not saying my name on the internet." It's fine though. Lynn Campbell knows my real name, so
Right. Well, it's funny because sometimes I just tell people, I'm like, I don't, I'm just gonna stick with this, like, because I mean, even Nina, my wife, I think 2 times I accidentally said her real name, but then I covered it up, like nobody caught it anyway.
right.
So,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
don't
that's
care
why I
anyway.
just went with my real name. I'm Steve. Like I ain't gonna mess that up.
Yeah, see, I just went with Blue Unicorn because it was already the handle that I had a MySpace page, guys. That's I'm
Oh, I did too. I
the
remember
old we're
MySpace.
olding.
Yep.
But yeah, Blue Unicorn was just the name that I attributed because it was my old CB handle when I was a teenager. CB radios, kids, are what we used to have before there were cell phones. When you wanted to call your friend and you didn't have a phone, you used a CB radio. But cell phones killed that. But anyway, so it just kind of was a name that stuck. I was going by the name Euripides Pants because I think it's funny. Euripides Pants. And when I tried to register it as a YouTube channel, they were like, "No, somebody's already using this." And I was like, "What?" And so I went and looked it up, and it turns out that yeah, It's like a punk jazz band called Euripides Pants, and it's a couple of the guys that were in Chrome. I don't know if you guys remember Chrome. They were this band from like the '80s. Um, and then I can't remember who the other guys are, but they have this crazy like psycho jazz kind of thing. And I said, well, okay, if they're using it, that's fine because you know I like them.
Right.
So I just went ahead and went with Blue Unicorn, and it all worked out because essentially I started the channel just so I could collect music that I wanted to hear while I was driving the taxi, and so for many years I didn't even have any. I didn't have any content. But at any
Oh
rate, so
yeah.
it all worked out because I started the Blue Unicorn thing on Facebook, and the whole character and the whole lore and all of that started on Facebook. But I absolutely just do not like um, Zuckerberg as a human being, and so I refuse to support him. So it's not like I don't like Facebook or what it does. I just don't like that guy, and I don't want to give him any of my time. So I deleted my Facebook, and not that Google is any better, but YouTube just happened to be where I landed, and that's where
Right.
it all went from
Oh
there.
yeah. That's yeah, because I still use Facebook, but I don't, if that makes sense. Because, like, you can have something like share, and then it's like share to Facebook, and you just click it, and then it's shared, but you're not
Yeah,
actually on Facebook.
yeah. I mean, you're
So I,
still
I check my
participating.
Facebook twice a year, but I post stuff to it often, but I'm not
Oh yeah,
on it.
yeah, yeah. I
But
just
it's
I just
still,
hit that. Are you
it's
sure you
just
want to delete?
justifying,
Yes, that's what I did.
you know.
Dennis Ellis says, "Had fun, gang. Me bones are barking for that for that easy chair, easier chair. Easier chairs are more better than the regular easy chair. Everybody have a good one, whatever zone you're in. I'm in the perfect grammar zone, is in which zone I am. Uh, Night, Dennis. That was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I see the
Much
big
love
ones
and
and then I'm
aloha,
compelled to read
Dennis,
them.
and everyone else that's bouncing out. But
Yeah, thanks to everyone who hung out.
yeah,
I
because
mean,
we're
I
at the
realize
three
that.
hour, and
Oh, yeah, how long
but
is the show? I don't even know. Three
well,
hours?
it's there really isn't a limit. Well, it's 6 hours is a limit, but
Oh, right, right, right.
the
What?
average is 2 hours. Actually, hour and a half, 2 hours is the average, and then
Oh, well, there you go. See, I'm
so
a half
that
hour
means
special, guys.
this is a great show though because we're at 3 hours, so we're
There you
way
go.
over. But
That really
I'm
blew
still
the
wondering,
association in my head.
miss having a dedicated space. No, MySpace, man. I used to love MySpace, man. You could set it up.
Yeah,
You could turn on your page, and it's got whatever music you want going. And
that's right. And then back in those days, you had GarageBand.com. I'm not sure if they're still doing what they were doing then. Now I know that there is a GarageBand something. I don't know what it is, but GarageBand.com was a great website back then. These were like the early days before they. I think YouTube had just began, like right when MySpace was in its death throes. I think Facebook put them under. Facebook just
yeah,
Facebook had all the CIA money, so MySpace didn't stand a chance.
CIA money.
Yeah, no, it's no joke. These
No,
companies
I
that
know
yeah,
it's
it's in
true, but
InQtel. Look up the bank InQtel and look at what they invest in what projects, and then you'll know why Facebook got famous and MySpace did not.
I mean, it's like YouTube. I think since 2011, but I didn't put any video or content on it till like 2021
Yeah, but
because I
I
just never
remember
thought
it.
about it. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
oh, I didn't know I could actually. I didn't know that was an option. I just thought I had to have a YouTube thing to watch YouTube videos, and
Yeah, my buddy Renegade, he doesn't really do it now, but he was a YouTuber back in the earliest days, and he'd make content. He was into this one particular topics of discussion. Like if you look up Renegade for Dio on, you'll get the banana argument, like one of his. I don't know if it's still, but it used to be one of the first things. But But back in those days, man, people could just put whatever they wanted on YouTube, and you could just find the craziest stuff. Like there's a guy, he was making videos of archive stuff like this. This is Strictly Strange. I'm not sure if he's still posting videos, but he was finding all this just like old archived YouTube stuff. It's just so bizarre. And it's like nowadays you couldn't even really get away with that anymore. You know, they'd be like, "Hey, that's wrong for some reason."
There is. Someone's always going to have a different opinion, or someone's always going to
Yeah,
disagree, and yeah.
yeah. But those early YouTube days were a blast. Yeah, I think that there was a Caucasian Sasquatch sometimes plays on his show clips of the guy who's like, uh, Big Ed's big ass storage unit or something, big ass vehicle storage or something. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy, but it was like way in the early days, and he'd make these funny ass videos about. Uh, anyway, just funny stuff, man. It's really hard to find stuff like that now.
Yeah. Well, I know Caucasian Sasquatch, but not the Big Ed's one. I don't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he would play
But
clips from this guy's thing, and it's like Ed's big ass truck storage or a big ass junk storage, and it was just his yard. It was he lived on it like a big farm yard or whatever, and it was just trash piled up everywhere. He's like, "You got an old tractor that doesn't work at all? Pay me $20. You can leave it here." This is Big Ed, yeah. And it was just all this trash and shit around his own house, you know. But he was making a video like other people are paying him to store this crap at his house. Anyway, it's a lot funnier than I'm describing it, but
well, in
uh,
my head, I'm thinking scrap metal, which is money, but then he's also getting them to pay him to leave them their scrap metal.
yeah, well, that's how all
But
the
that's just
jokes
my
work,
head,
you know.
right?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think he was just being funny. But no, I mean, there's also the commercials of the guys that'll come take away your junk, and then they say we also recycle your stuff. Well, guess what? By recycle, they mean sell. So,
Yep. Oh
you're
yeah.
paying them to come get your stuff, and then they're selling it. So they're making money hand over fist
Oh
on
yeah.
the stuff that you could just sell.
Yeah. Especially that 1-800 got junk, or what is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's
Because
one
yeah,
of those. It's some commercial I see on
they
TV. Yeah.
charge a shit ton of money too
Yeah,
to come take it, and then they're like,
and then they
yeah,
sell it. Yeah.
wow.
Well, I worked on a tree trimming crew, and it's the same way. Like they'll give you this option where they're like, okay, we'll cut down the tree. If you want to keep the firewood, we'll cut it up for you for a fee. And people are like, yeah, okay. Or we can take the logs with us, and you can pay us a fee to take them with us. And then people will say, oh, okay. And then when they pay the tree crew to take the logs, the tree crew takes it to a place and sells it. So
Doubles it.
if they cut down a walnut tree, they can take that walnut wood to a guy who mills it and make bank on it. And yet you just threw it away because you don't want it in your yard now. Yeah,
Right.
but it's worth
But
money. You just
either way, they're gonna have to pay a fee.
yeah,
Like
you're
you can pay a
paying
fee
them
and
to
we'll cut it up and leave it for firewood, or you can pay a fee and we'll take it away. But if they pay, they're gonna pay the fee either way. But if they pay for them to take it away, then they're like tripling their money
yeah. That's the
because you paid the
trick,
fee anyway.
right?
Yeah.
So well, I
Like,
don't have a
yeah.
fireplace, so I want you to take it with you. Okay, here's pay me some money, I'll take it, and then they go sell it, so they're making money 3 times in a row.
Yep.
But
That's
business is business, man. You know.
business is business. Yep.
Alrighty, folks, we are at the 3:09:01 second.
Yeah. Oh,
Should we wrap this thing up or
cool.
keep
Yep.
going? You guys want to hear
Yep.
me play
I'll
14 more songs or?
14. But no, I can. I'm gonna close out with. So this way I can leave the chat running. Because if I just close out, like I don't know, YouTube or Streamyard, whatever decides how long chat goes. So
Yeah, and then
I'll
it'll go. This video is private, and the whole thing disappears until you reset
but
it.
I'll close it out. But I'm gonna play. Let's see, one. I'm gonna play two more songs from Blue Unicorn's page, and that way the chat can keep going for another 7-8 minutes. and then I'll end it. And then after that, if you're gonna hang out backstage, Blue Unicorn, I'll still be here.
Okay, sure.
And cool. So we'll start out with this one, which is a Suicidal Tendencies cover. How Will I Laugh Tomorrow?
Yeah, this is the one I blew on Clay's show the other day. I got halfway through
Oh,
it.
really?
Was just rocking it. Oh man, the singing was great. And then I got to the middle part and just like brain farted all of the words and couldn't think of it. And I was trying, and then finally I was like, nah, this is unrecoverable. So I just quit playing it. Sorry, guys.
Hey, well, the one after I was gonna do is Bearded Fat Guy. Is that good? Because that's your song, right?
Yeah, that's a holiday extravaganza song. Bearded Fat Guy. It's about Santa Claus. So.
Well, I can do a different one if you want.
Yeah, that one's only really, I mean, you know, it's kind of sacrilegious to not play that song at Christmas. So. Plus, it's a song that might make people mad. So, you have to.
I like making people mad.
Yeah, it's funny.
Kidding.
It's a funny song. I think it's hilarious. And it's one of the things I said, oh, yeah, I don't copyright any of my songs. So if you guys want to learn this and make it a traditional holiday folk song, that would be great.
Well, what about...
hey, there's Lynn Campbell. I mentioned
Hey,
Lynn
Lynn
Campbell.
Campbell.
Now Lynn Campbell, I see Lynn Campbell. Oh, see, now there you go.
Okay, here we go. We'll do this then. We'll do... For the second one, we'll do Teardrop.
There you go. That's a Massive Attack song. I love that song. It's one of my favorite ones to play.
Cool. So we'll start out with How I Laugh Tomorrow. Oh, what's that?
Oh, I was going to say, or I could try to play Teardrop for you live, if you guys would rather, because I can play it better than is on that video. How about How about I'll play Teardrop right now, and then we can close it out with the video. You guys want to hear that?
Yeah, that works. I do. That works.
All right, I'm not waiting for the answer. I'm just going to do it. Okay, Teardrop by Massive Attack. I got to go back up to drop D real quick. Alright, now of course I play this my own way, so it sounds like it, but it's not quite the same. So it just starts off with like a... Love is a verb, love is a doing word, feel the sound my breath. Gentle impulsion shakes me, makes me lighter, feel the sound my breath. Teardrop on the fire, feel the sound my breath. Night, night of matter, black flowers blossom, feel the sound my breath. Black flowers blossom, feel the sound my breath. Teardrop on the fire, feel the sound my breath. my eye, most faithful mirror, feel this on my breath. Teardrop on the fire of a confession, feel this on my breath. Teardrop on the fire, feel this on my breath. We're stumbling in the dark. 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 Teardrop on the fire, fearless on my breath. There you go, Teardrop by Massive Attack. Any of you guys that watch the TV series House probably knows that as the theme music, which kind of upset me, but it's okay. They made $1 million. Clap hands. Pole vault says clap hands. Horn fingers.
Pole vault. I'm still waiting for pole vault to get a hold of me.
Pole vault, get a hold of him. Ostrich man shakes a fist. Well, he's making the sign language for bathroom.
Yes.
Oh.
There you go, pole vault. I'd love to have you on too, brother.
That's right, pole vault man makes some music that will take you places.
Takes
you places.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna close it out. And thank you everyone for showing up, and thank you everyone who wasn't subscribed to Blue Unicorn but now is, and anyone that's still thinking about it. I don't know, maybe there's something
if you
wrong.
have to think about it, you should second guess. But if you don't have to think about it, then just do it.
Do it.
I'm not your boss. I'm an anarchist. Yeah, do it. Dude, that thing makes me freaking crack up every time you play that. Just do it.
Do it.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you all for showing up and listening to me yammer on at the mouth like that. There's a quiz on Monday.
I almost forgot. See, I'm getting messed up because my neighbors, I swear they know when I'm live, they decide to cut their grass. And it's like, I don't know. But I almost forgot. This is my most important question of every show is, if you had any advice for any upcoming musicians, what advice would you have for them?
If you had, okay. Here is my advice for any musician who is learning or who is coming up in the thing, or even musicians who have been around a while. My advice is never listen to all of your friends that say, that was neat, and give you those platitudes and make you feel bad, or the ones that say, I don't know, man, you should focus on making money or doing whatever it is that I think that you should do. My advice is don't listen to them. If you want to make music, just do it. Don't, because we as musicians, we are all our own worst critics. And I've spent most of my life criticizing myself. I've gotten to this point now where I'm just like, oh, well, whatever. I didn't play it perfectly, so what? But 20 years ago, I'd be like, man, I can't believe I didn't play that perfectly. I could totally do that better. And man, I wish I was a better singer. I wish I was a better songwriter. Well, guess what? Wishes and wants. You got wishes in this hand, and you got wants in this hand. and they both amount to the same thing. So don't wish you could do this or want you could do that. Just do it, right? uh, Make it happen. Self-generate that fire. And so for me, it was this community that did this for me. I became not embarrassed to sing in front of people. All right, and I have you guys, all of you guys, to thank for that, because I used to just get so embarrassed. And so the thing is that once I hit that attitude of, you know what, whatever, man, nobody's perfect, I'll just do what I want to do, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm not going to listen to all of these people telling me this or that. That was when I started experimenting and being able to sing better and hold notes better and project better, because now I'm not hiding behind the curtain anymore. So don't beat yourself up if you think that you're this or that, because you're not those things. That's all happening in your head. So instead, be the thing that you want to be. Don't wish that you could someday. Just be it. Okay? That's my advice. Be it. And that's what got me to go out and play open mics and have my YouTube channel and come on the Steve Harloha show, which is an inside joke. You have to watch episode 6, I think, to understand why I said Harloha, because it's funny. But that's my advice, is just, get over get over it. Because if you think that you're not good, then you won't be good, because you think you're not good, right? So instead, know that you are good, but you can learn to be better, because the problem comes when our attitude gets in the way. When you say, I suck at this. Well, it's not that you suck at this, it's that your skill level is not where it could be, but your attitude sucks, and that's what sucks. It's not that your ability sucks, it's that your attitude sucks, and that becomes something that will hold you back. Having that sucky attitude will hold you back. So instead, you have to have the attitude that, well, I'm pretty good, and I'm only getting better, right? And I realize it sounds like a very narcissistic way of looking at things, and it is kind of, but the only way that you're ever going to beat the demons that are in your head is if you just stop listening to them. Stop listening to the people that tell you, oh, go get a job or do this or that. No, man. In the immortal words of Tenacious D, focus on your craft one time, which is a Tenacious D reference. But anyway, that's my advice. Don't beat yourself up. And I'm saying that from experience, because I've beat myself up for 20 years. And finally, I just said, you know what? I'm going to fight back. And then now, I, you know, I will say that I'm not half bad of a singer. Whereas before, I would say, I'm only half good. But got to keep that in a balance, right? It's the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people who aren't good at something think they're an expert, but people who are really good at things think they're not good enough, right? So you got to keep a happy balance in there.
Yep, the
But
Dunning
that's my
Kruger
advice.
effect. Yep, that's great advice, and it's so true. The Dunning Kruger effect. That's like, yeah, people that
Yeah.
barely know anything about something think that they're like the professional, and then
Right.
people that know a lot about it still question themselves. Like, mm,
Right. I have very bad imposter syndrome. I really do. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm all extroverted on the thing or whatever, but no, I have it pretty bad. So I just kind of I got to this point where I was like, well, I don't, whatever, man. I do what I do, and like one of the reasons that my guitar style is the way it is because I'm not this shredder, excellent chord play and whatever, and so I make do with my own ability, and then I use that as I use my inabilities as a style, right? Like early on I couldn't really switch chords real fast, and my fingers didn't want to do stuff, and I'd ham fist all the strings. And so then I developed a style out of doing that. So sometimes I'm playing half a chord, but my fingers are ham fisting then a half of a different chord, and then I'll strum only the top three and then the bottom three for two different chords. And that's not something that I did because I'm awesome. That's something I did because I didn't know how to do it right. So I just did it the way I figured out. Uh, so it's about taking your shortcomings and making them a superpower. But anyway,
Right.
but it's all about attitude. If you have a shitty attitude, then you're gonna play shitty music. That's just how that works. And so you have to have a positive attitude, and don't listen to the haters. You just can't listen to
Absolutely.
them.
That's great advice.
Yeah. In
That's
fact,
awesome.
there's a thing that I plan to do. There's a bar up in Fort Collins called Lucky Joe's. I'm gonna go play there one of these days. And the reason is because the one and only open mic I ever did back in those days, I did at Lucky Joe's. And I played uh, three of my songs, and nobody in the bar was listening. They were all watching sports ball and cheering at the sports ball and talking loud so they could be heard over the music. Clearly, nobody was listening, and nobody liked it. And I got all butt hurt, and I freaking walked out of there. You guys are dumb. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm never gonna do it. Blah, blah. Well, guess what? 25 years later, I'm going to go back to that bar, and I'm going to do an open mic, and I'm going to play the exact same three songs. And I'll see if I get the same response out of the crowd. Because I won't. Because it's not a matter of that the songs were good or weren't good. It was just that I had a shitty attitude, and I was pissed off that nobody was blah, blah, blah. And then that affected the way I played, and nobody liked it. And I didn't know how to, because it's brand new. It was the first open mic I ever did. And so I bet you anything, I'm going to go back there and I'm going to play the same three songs and get a totally different reaction out of that crowd. It's because
Yep.
I'm more confident now than I ever was then.
And it's so
So
true. Your attitude has everything because people see through that. The attitude is like, yeah, we can go and do a whole nother. We'll talk about
yeah,
that
but that'll be a
backstage,
whole nother
and then
hour.
yeah,
We're trying to
that'll be a
wrap up
whole.
now.
That'll be a part two. We'll have to do a part two
Yeah, you got it, man.
for sure. For
I can
sure.
do talk shows or music shows or political shows or whatever you want to do, man. I got nothing but time and knowledge. But that being said,
Awesome.
that's my advice, everybody. Don't beat yourself up. And I can when I'm reading these comments, that sometimes people make these comments and they're the whole self-disparaging thing. I get it. I get why you're saying that because I used to feel that. But I gave up on feeling that. And you know what? I've gotten 100% better at guitar and probably about another 100% better at my vocal skills just simply by changing my attitude.
Yep.
So that's my
Absolutely.
advice. Do that. Or don't. I'm not your boss. I'm just saying. That's how I did it.
But it
Midnight
definitely
Bandit.
works.
Midnight Bandit says, hey, Blue.
Midnight Bandit. Oh, cool. Yeah. So I'll play
All right, guys.
this one song and hang out if you want, man, for sure. Because I'll be here. I still want to talk a little more, but
Groovy.
everyone in chat. Until next time, have a beautiful morning, a beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, beautiful evening, a beautiful night, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Much love, much aloha, and most importantly, God bless.
Take two. Hello, hello.
watching as my whole world is crumbling down. I cry for help, no one's around, silently screaming as I bang my head against the wall. Seems like no one's there at all, caught up in emotion, how can I explain? Kinda like the scent of a rose, hard to explain, same as my pain. Emotion over my head. Sometimes gotta think to myself, is this life or death? Am I living or am I dead? Clock keeps ticking by, nothing seems to change. Problems never solved, just rearranged. And as I sit here thinking about the times I've had, some were good, most were bad. Reality, and I look for things I cannot see. Love and peace flash through my mind, but pain and hate is all I find. Nothing new, and I never had a dream come true. Lies and hate and agony, through my eyes it's all I see. And if I'm gonna die, will you take away my fears? And if I'm gonna cry, would you wipe away my tears? And before I drown in sorrow, I just wanna say, how will I laugh tomorrow when I can't even smile today? What? You think something's funny? Laugh at this. And as I sit in my room, I see the world without the reason. What was done to me's not fair. You say it's fair, I call it treason, but I don't know what to do. Just give me a sign or whatever. If you want me, here I am, 'cause I ain't gonna die forever. And I tried to hold you, you just turned away. And I tried to tell you, but not a word I say. And I screamed so loudly, but you just closed your ears. And I tried to tell you, but you ignored my tears. So if you want me, here I am. I sit here waiting your decision, but my body fights my mind, and I'm headed for collision. And I'm getting near, or am I looking in all the wrong places? And the only thing that seems to change is the look on their faces. And it seems like no one cares at all. I search for personality, and I look for things I cannot see. Love and peace flash through my mind, pain and hate is all I find. I find no hope in nothing new, and never had a dream come true. Lies and hate and agony, through my eyes it's all I see. How will I laugh tomorrow? How will I laugh tomorrow? How will I laugh tomorrow? How will I laugh tomorrow when I can't even smile today? There we go. Bam! I made it through the whole song, and I only kind of farted, but it was silent but deadly.
I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright. And for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year